The topic we're going to talk about today, we think about it at least thrice a day: food. And we're at a generation where we have so much information, but we are so confused. One day carbs is good, one day protein is good, one day ghee is good. The next day, everything is contradicted. Today, I am speaking to one of India's leading nutritionists. Her name is Shiny Surendran, and let's get the show started. We know carbs give us energy, but why is everyone so against it?
We're not walking enough. You know what changed? I think it's the pandemic. The apps became so good.
Yeah.
You could just place the order in the next 5 to 10 minutes. You have everything that you need. So no one's going to your provision stores, the grocery stores. You can order everything. The activity has come down drastically.
Okay.
Yesterday I met someone. I looked at the Whoop band. I was just looking at the steps. It was just 735 steps. And this was the end of the day.
Wow.
People are not moving enough. They're not sleeping enough.
No.
These days you're spoiled for choices. You can still watch. You can do binge watch shows, right?
Yeah.
We've all done that. Yeah, let's not deny that.
Yeah,
5 hours of, a murder
One
mystery.
episode. One episode. So recently I had gone to the physiotherapist to get dry needling done. And she touched me and she said, "You are dehydrated." But I felt perfectly fine. What are the symptoms that we don't notice are signs that we are dehydrating?
One is to check the color of urine every time. Next is also checking. You could just check. Yeah. Sometimes if there is a lot of dryness, you will see that showing up. Parched lips, throat being very dry, feeling tired. And sometimes your eyes also might feel very, very dry.
So after being in this industry for so many years, Shiny, what is the best diet? What is the best diet? Is it the East, the West? What is the best diet?
I feel our Indian diets are amazing. What is sustainable? What is available locally? I think that's something. See, all of us have grown up in different parts of India, right? There are things that we bring to our table because it's part of your childhood. And I see Tamil Sapad is great. When you eat local food, you're getting the maximum nutrients. So I think we should just celebrate our tradition, our Indian foods. It's all about just striking a balance. And if we can just focus on getting that protein and adequate fiber in, it'll be superb.
What are the 3 biggest mistakes people are making with sleep?
One is gadget usage. If you were to eat a heavy meal, it will affect the sleep. Another factor is evening workouts. There are a lot of people who struggle to sleep because they've done so much of workout in the evening. Their adrenaline is so high, they're not able to calm down. They're ready to go out and work, or else, they want to go out, meet friends, go for a drive. All of these things happen. So evening workout is not something that I recommend for people who really struggle with sleep.
What happens to our body every month? What is it?
It's just the hormones. See, this is natural, normal physiology. There will be a phase where, before the period start, the hunger pangs will go up. Your body is preparing for conception. Okay, when it doesn't happen, you will end up with the period. It's a privilege to actually make a human being.
Welcome to the Rayane Show. I am your host, Rayane Mithun. This season is brought to you by Satyabama University and powered by Naturals. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. And it's also, I'm seeing you after so long.
Yeah, the last time I met you was at your baby shower.
Yeah, so 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years now, right? Yeah, it's been, but I've been looking at all your posts. Yeah. It's been amazing, the kind of work that you do. So happy to see.
Thank you. Thank you. So today when I was prepping, I was like, oh, what shall I ask Shiny? I was like, I don't want to get in too much into this diet because everyone now is talking about diet. But have you noticed, it's your profession, but now everyone is giving diet advice on social media. Everyone has so much information, but they're still so confused. Why is that?
There's just too much information. That's the problem.
But how do you know, like when you see on Instagram and stuff like that, how do you know the right information from the wrong information?
See, the thing is, there's no one diet which fits all, right? And we are in different stages of life. Let me just give you an example. For a child, say for your children, juice is going to work really well. Like when they come back from sports or else games or anything, you give them a glass of juice and at least you're happy that they took something, right? But then if you're going to be looking at someone with PCOS, or now it's called PMOS, juice is something which is contraindicated for them.
Okay.
For them as well as anyone with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and all. So the context is you really have to look at the age, gender, physical activity, which phase of their life they are in, and are there any medical issues? So you have to put everything together and the advice will change. So you can't be out there fear-mongering, right? So it all depends on the situation and how much they need to take. Another thing is, let's not go into extremes, and also see whether it's coming from a qualified professional. There's just too much information. AI is there to support you, and there are people who just take exercise prescriptions as well as nutrition and everything possible from AI. But sometimes the human connect is also very important. And as you interact with someone, there are times that you realize there could be some emotional aspect also that's coming in the way. It's not always about calories. I'm sure you would agree that we all go through some kind of challenge or stress, and there are things that we can't even share it with anyone because you're still probably processing in your head, and that could also come in the way. So back to your question of how do you separate it, I think it has to come from a qualified professional and not someone who's just done a short course versus someone who's gone to a university or studied for a good 5 to 7 years, specialized, and then gone through different setups to gain a lot of experience and see a diverse range of complicated cases in order for them to be even called a qualified person. Because see, when I started my career, I think the first time you come out of university, you think, okay, I know it all. And then what humbles you is every client coming with a different problem. And then you're like, oh my God, I really need to read more, be it psychology, behavioral sciences. And then you talk to a physiotherapist, a trainer, and there are so many insights that you get from your fellow health professionals too. And then over a period of time, now it's been 26 years, and then it's been an amazing learning curve. So what I'm trying to say is, besides the qualification, it's also what you learn when you see that many number of clients, say several thousands of clients over a period of time. Yeah.
That's true, no? Also life experiences, like you said.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But according to you, what is the biggest social media trend that's happening now?
Now,
when it comes to nutrition and diet, what is the biggest thing that's...
So much about gut health. And I feel there's so much spoken about protein.
I know. I think because I was researching you, my Instagram was like, how to up your protein. Easy, high protein breakfast. And I was like, thanks.
There's so much about protein. And then a lot of people ending up with constipation. So the fiber goes out of the window. So if you manage to get everything, it's great. And let's not vilify carbs. Right? You've been through a lot of things, right? I'm sure. See, that little bit of carbs, it can either come from sweet potato, corn, it can be one dosa, one idli, or a little bit of rice. Sometimes it's very, very comforting. And certain foods, when you eat, you actually feel it transports you back to childhood, probably the time spent with your grandparents or some event, or else maybe even a school vacation, and then it brings back a whole bunch of memories, right? So certain foods connects you to certain places, certain people, and you don't want to miss that component. It's not just about calories in, calories out.
Exactly. So I want to talk to you about protein. I mean, all these years it was ignored, but now it's become like you said, a trend. Everyone is talking about protein. Anywhere you go, even with your friends, they're like, oh, so how much protein are you taking per day? What does protein actually do to our body?
See, we all know how it helps in building muscles. But besides that, hormones, enzymes, immunity, you don't want to catch every infection that's doing its rounds, right? You have 2 children at home. You know how it is when they go to school.
That invariably they bring home.
Everyone in the home will get that infection. Immunity is something that it really helps with. Any repair. And next thing is blood sugar stabilization, which means if you were to eat a lot of carb-related food, your sugars will spike and then there will be a dip. Now, every time it goes up and down, that is when every time you hit a low, your mood swings also will just get severe. And then have you noticed if somebody has been on a lot of sugar, then what happens is there could be a lot of anxiety. Or else there'll be mood swings. Sometimes you're in that Kali avatar. There's this other phase when you're like this Zen, in a Zen mode. So all of these things could happen. Now, protein is something which will stabilize the sugar. And when someone has hormonal issues like PCOS, which is now called PMOS, this is a very great tool to actually reverse or do a remission. So sometimes before going for medication, it'll be a good idea to use a lot of nutrition related hacks in order to just reverse a condition. And in the early stages, it's truly helpful. So it's not just for muscle building, but it helps in so many other ways. And skin, hair, and also your nails, right? For all of this, we need protein. Yes.
How much protein does a child need?
A child will need around 2 gram per kg body weight, okay, 2.5, because a child is growing so rapidly and we need so much of protein to support. But someone who's, say, in their 20s, sedentary job, or else if they're just sitting in one place for long hours and all of that, they will need around 0.8 to 1. That is a basic minimum recommendation.
Okay.
But from there, if they're also into sports,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now that will go up to around 1.2 to 1.5 gram per kg body weight.
Okay.
Yeah. So it varies according to how many days you're exercising and how intense is your workout, or are you into sports where there's a lot of running involved. Okay, so based on all that, the requirement will vary. So it can be anywhere between 1 to 2 gram per kg body weight
Okay.
of protein. Yeah.
What about, does it vary when someone is going through menopause? Or
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. When was the last time you saw? 8 years back.
Yeah.
I'm now 50. I turned 50 in April.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, during pandemic is when the premenopausal symptoms cropped up. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was mopping, sweeping, doing all the household work, plus also doing a lot of cardio and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And still there were rashes. I had difficulty sleeping and all of that. And later I realized it was all perimenopausal symptoms that came up at the age of 44. Yeah. 3 years back, I hit menopause. But that has been the most challenging phase because you're shedding hair worse than your dog at home. Okay. There's just hair everywhere. And you're eating sprouts and then all the healthy stuff, and still this happens. And protein really needs to be upped at that point in time, because even if one doesn't have diabetes or pre-diabetes, women at that stage become more insulin resistant, which means even that little extra carbs is not helping so much.
Okay.
Okay. So protein can be anywhere between 1.8 to 2.2 gram per kg body weight. So we really need to focus on protein at that point in time.
Okay.
No wonder the industry has come up with protein chips and protein in
Everything's
coffee
protein.
and everywhere. But we should also know that just taking protein might not be enough. We also need to support it with vegetables. Yeah. So you need that fiber, antioxidants. In combination, it's beautiful.
What are the symptoms like for a normal person? Somewhere I heard this, that even your cravings might be because you're not meeting your protein requirement.
Absolutely.
What are these symptoms? Like, people think it might be something else, like brain fog or whatever. What are the symptoms that you're actually not hitting your protein intake?
Perfect. So even after eating meals, you don't really feel full or satiated. That is one. Next thing is, as you said, cravings, major sugar cravings.
I have that.
You remember Kala actually once mentioned.
So Kala is my cousin. We have spoken about it on this podcast. She's the most spoken about person.
Really? Yeah. She's on sweetheart, and there's this childlike innocence to her. Yeah. In spite of her age, that is still very active. Yeah. So Kala, I remember her telling, "Oh, you were on a diet." I'm talking about, I think, probably when you were
Shiny,
90.
I've been on a diet. The first person I came to for a diet. It's been 20 odd years.
I remember you were 18 or 19 or something. That's when we met, and she said, "Oh, is she on a diet? I saw her having Nutella." And I was like, okay. So sugar cravings is something all of us go through. Yeah. So protein deficiency and sugar craving is connected. Okay, this is one. Next thing is also not feeling full, satisfied. Okay. And there could be huge fluctuations in the mood. If the mood swings are very high, or if there's sometimes palpitation, or you're going through also, brittle nails, shedding hair, lot of hair breakage. Okay.
Oh my God, I have all these things.
Jill, I know. I'm sure you're such a pro. You've done all combinations and all sorts of diets by now, right? Yeah. Going through 2 pregnancies is not enough. In fact, going through 2 pregnancies is a huge challenge by itself, and there comes a whole bunch of challenges after that also, because bringing up a child, it's not easy.
2 pregnancies itself are bad enough, and high complicated pregnancies are very bad.
Yeah. And in fact, I've also seen a lot of clients who go through postpartum depression without knowing that they are going through it. So you're just dealing with mood swings. So that's another major factor. So in order to stabilize the sugar, you will need the protein. So these are some of the things. So if you're looking at someone's face, if you don't see them being fresh, or if their nails are breaking off, chipping off very fast, if wounds are not healing really fast, okay, and having major crashes, which means I'm tired by say 11 in the morning, or by 3, or soon after a meal, if they really want to go and take a nap.
Afternoon slumps.
Post-meal sleepiness and all of this, I think you should really look at their protein. Yeah.
But what are the best forms of protein? Like, when you talk for a non-vegetarian, there are so many options. But I always see vegetarians are like, what can you have? Like, I've tried tempeh. It's horrible. Okay.
Same here. Even I tried. It didn't work.
But what are your options? Like, for vegetarians?
Yeah. So vegetarians, different varieties of legumes,
Okay.
lentils, all those things are
Mhm.
good. But some really feel extremely gassy.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to be bloated all the
Mm.
time. The stomach really
Mm.
sticks out, or they feel very embarrassed because they're around people, and then
Yeah.
they really want to
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
it there. So it's not easy at all.
Mhm.
Taking too much of dals or legumes, that is one. But that is a good source. So adai, pesretta,
Mm.
or else a besan chilla, these are things that are really good. Or even khandvi or dokla.
Okay.
It's all related to dals. That is one. Nuts and seeds.
Okay.
Okay. But you really have to be very careful about how much you eat. Whether it's a fistful or you're counting it, or else it's a handful. Fistful and handful.
Because cashew nuts will just go like that.
You've been there, done that, right? All of us. All
Yeah.
of us. Yeah.
Peanuts.
Peanuts,
cashew nuts.
yeah. Peanuts again falls into the legume category.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like rajma and chana.
Okay.
It's not even a nut. So
Okay.
that is another. Glad you brought it up. So this is one. Milk products, okay?
Mm.
So anything to do with milk and milk products like paneer and then curd and just drinking a plain
Mhm.
glass of milk. And a lot of people are lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So I'm one.
I'm
So-
too.
So then vegan protein supplements, amazing.
No,
There are some,
please, no.
No?
I mean,
You don't
okay,
like it?
it's fine. It tastes like having kadla mav. The kadla mav spoon la eduthu vaayila pottukalam. I had it and I was like, so I can't have protein shakes. So my next question was going to be about protein shakes.
Hmm.
I can't have it.
Okay.
I have severe bloating and severe, like my heart will start racing if I have.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
So then
okay.
I've switched to clear whey.
Okay, that works for you?
That's
Yeah,
also
it
not
looks
working
like
now.
juice, no?
Yeah,
It
but it's
looks
still
like
not
juice.
working. I still
Okay.
feel like extremely gassy.
Okay, for some, see, the convenience is great. Which
Yeah.
means soon after a workout,
Yeah.
you can just drink that, and then from the gym if you're going to workspace,
Mm.
or else I use a lot, especially during conferences.
Mm.
Conference, if you've seen the meals that has been provided and all, there'll be a lot of carbs.
Mm.
And then I'm transitioning from a non-vegetarian to a vegetarian. Then that is another challenge. So for the past 6 years, I've been on this vegan protein that has worked well for me.
Okay.
But again, you'll have to choose a brand that works best for you.
Mm.
Another thing is soy chunks.
Nothing.
Soy products,
Yeah.
fresh soybeans, edamame, those kind of things. If it works, great. Or else you can also use tofu, the
Mhm.
soft silken tofu.
That's a yummy.
Yeah.
Even to make desserts, it's nice.
Yeah, so you've tried that, right? Great. Okay, if that works, so even a little bit of tofu, you can just grind it and then just add it to idli dosa batter. So you get to still eat the regular idli dosa batters. Konjam slight change maybe, but then it's not too, not such a contrast.
Okay.
So you'll be pretty comfortable taking it. So that is one. You could consider that. Then what else? Nutritional yeast protein, hemp protein.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Then also alfalfa sprouts. So
What is that?
yeah, these are just sprouts which look like those small. You've seen those
I've seen
microgreens and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
Mari could see, the idea is to get a combination of carbohydrates with that.
Okay.
Okay, so that you take a variety of protein.
Mm-hmm.
Don't depend on just one source. You'll
Okay.
just have to mix it up so that the friendly bacteria is very happy. When the gut is happy, your brain is happy.
Yeah.
So, and it's all interconnected.
Yeah. Because your neurotransmitters go from there. No?
Ah, wow. Awesome. Yeah.
So these are your protein options.
These are the protein options. Yeah.
So then my next about protein shakes, are they necessary or can they be supplemented with food?
You tell me, when do you use protein shakes? When have you thought about it? What if you
I've
made
been
them
told
come one day?
because I've not been able to eat so much of chicken and all that.
Mm.
I feel like I'm eating quite a bit, but according to everybody else, my protein intake is quite less.
Okay.
So they said to supplement it with the protein shakes.
Okay.
One, I don't like the taste.
Ah.
Now, two, it doesn't agree with my body now.
Okay. So you mentioned, what worked for you and what didn't. See, protein shakes are very, very convenient, especially say, for instance, suddenly the cook didn't show up and then you had to quickly toss up something. So then a protein shake helps. Next thing is, if you're not able to eat that amount of meat, even though you're a non-vegetarian, you can't eat large amounts of meat. If you're that kind of a person, that is one. Next thing, gastric issues. If you're consuming too much of chana, rajma and other legumes, and that triggers a lot of gas, then probably the best way will be to also try this besides the curd and other sources. Okay, this is one. Long distances. So there are times we work with a lot of athletes, and sometimes right in the morning they will step out, go to the ground, do their workouts, go to the college or university, and then after that finish their training again in the evening, and by the time they reach home it will be 8 or 9 p.m. Okay, so they're out the whole day, and that's when we'll say, why don't you just carry this? Because then you end up meeting your protein requirements and you have this event coming up.
Okay.
Or if someone is looking at a drastic reduction, when we work with actors and they have to beef up, they have to do a transformation.
And then a timeline, no?
Timeline. And next thing is, if they don't have any kidney related issues, liver related issues and all that, we do a thorough screening and then recommend according to their situation. There are times people come from other cities and they're staying at a friend's place or else say a relative's house. Okay, you can't go there and demand that this is what I need, right? From a already they're doing you a favor by offering the accommodation. So there are certain circumstances where they're not able to get what they want. They don't have a cook, or that is what is possible within their means.
Okay.
And then this comes in handy to meet up their requirements.
Okay.
Okay. So, and also for reversal of disease. For example, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or else PCOS, stepping up the protein is a game changer. The cravings just shut down. By 80%, you notice an amazing drop. And then if someone is on the threshold of diabetes, like say pre-diabetes, or during pregnancy, they're having gestational diabetes, and the gynec says, listen, control it, otherwise we're going to have a preterm baby. Then what do you do? And that's when you say, you don't want to eat carbs along with the protein. Let's just step up only the protein. Then this works beautifully. Yeah.
You mentioned even juices are not okay for
PCOS, PMOS.
PMOS?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Okay, so the main thing is the sugar spike up. Okay, so if I were to give you 5 oranges, how many would you eat?
2 max.
1 or 2, right? That's it.
Depending on its size.
Exactly.
My son eats 3, 4. He loves it.
Okay, but if I were to give you a glass of juice, would you drink? It will be quick to consume, right? Yeah. Now, in order to make that fresh juice without diluting, I would need at least 4 or 5 medium-sized oranges to fill the glass, right? So that amount, at one shot, you're getting that many calories, and then you end up filtering all the fiber, and some might even add some sugars to it. So now if all this is happening, then automatically this is going to quickly, you don't need too much time to digest. Enters your bloodstream, causes a sugar spike, and then after a little while there could be a crash. Have you noticed how you have 2 kids at home? So when you have birthday parties and all of that, they're all very excited, they're jumping around.
The sugar high.
Yeah, sugar high. And they also have, say, muffins and any treats. If there's a lot of sugar, they're going to have a sugar high. And by the time the party or the gathering finishes, they'll all be crying, they become weepy. So there's a crash after that. So we can avoid this crash by eating whole fruits. Yeah. And even during mango season, did you eat mangoes?
Yeah, not much this time.
Not much? Okay. So the hacks are, one is you do a soleus stretch soon after eating a mango. Okay. Just do a calf stretch kind of, or a soleus stretch. Next will be to walk for 15-20 minutes in order to blunt the sugar response, or eat few nuts, or have apple cider vinegar mixed in water, or even eat few pieces of coconut, because the coconut has some amount of good fats in them. So this will again blunt the response. Or it can even be a little buttermilk with flaxseed, or flaxseed with water, or some psyllium husk. So the idea is, bring in some fiber or get some protein or some good fats, then the spikes will not be so much. This is how we ensure that people still enjoy the seasonal fruits.
I will still eat it. I will still eat it. Even if the pimples come, even if the sugar is going up and down, I will still eat it. So we spoke about protein. The next villain in everyone's stories is carbs. We know carbs give us energy, but why is everyone so against it?
Okay, we are not walking enough. See, if you look at your grandparents' era, I think people would have gone to work using a cycle. They would have walked. Hey, paste illa, kadugilla, go run to the nearby store.
Now everything is like order.
You know what changed? I think it's the pandemic. You know, the apps became so good. You could just place the order in the next 5 to 10 minutes. You have everything that you need. So no one's going to your, the provision stores, the grocery stores. You can order everything. I remember my client telling parents came, I didn't have steel glasses or tumblers to serve. Blanket order panita. That's what they said. And there was a child who said, photocopy, I'll place an order. I said, yeah, even at night you will get all these services. I'm like, wow. Then why would you even step out of the house? So the activity has come down drastically. Yesterday I met someone, and then his footsteps, I looked at the Whoop band. I was just looking at the steps. It was just 735 steps. And this was the end of the day.
Wow.
Okay. This is around 6-7 p.m. I just looked at the footsteps. So people are not moving enough. They're not sleeping enough. Those days there was only one Doordarshan channel. These days you're spoiled for choices. You can still watch You can do binge watch shows, right?
Yeah.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not deny that. 5 hours of, okay, a
Just
murder
one
mystery.
episode. One episode.
Exactly. So that is another. So because earlier, I remember grandparents going to sleep by 7:38 and then they would wake by 3 or 4 and there was so much of physical activity that is not there. So that's why carbohydrates, see, when we went to college, okay, we didn't have this PCOS as a subject, or there was no mention of it. It was not a condition or a disorder back in 1996-97. Okay, that's when we were in college and this was not there. So this was a new age problem. I was working in a gym at that time. The physio trainer, all were wondering why a few clients didn't lose weight in spite of them being consistent. And we had a discussion together as a team, and then we noticed that we were doing everything right, but the results weren't coming through. Okay, and that's when we realized even the amount of fruits are not helping. Sundals were not helping. The overall carbs itself, the body has become resistant because of this condition. So this is the problem. That's why carbs is something that we don't need for the present lifestyle. Unless, of course, you're out there running 10 kilometers every single day or doing some major cardio, or you're on your feet, or you're lifting heavy.
So otherwise you don't need carbs?
You don't need carbs. See, the thing is, if you eat a little bit of carbs, it will spare the protein to do its job. We need protein for all the hormones and enzymes and repair work and maintenance. It's like building blocks, right?
Yeah.
So it's great for all of this. You don't want to miss out. So keep the carbs little bit. See, if you're training for high rocks, I would definitely emphasize carbs should be there. When we work with all the cricketers or any sports person, we'll always say eat the carbs because it spares the protein to do its job of building your muscle and doing the other activities. And let there be good fats also. That little bit of ghee, butter, coconut oil, olive oil, all that is good. A little of everything. Again, the context matters.
Yeah.
Who are you? What's your age group? What medical conditions, is one going through? How much can you walk or move around? Okay. Because, and are you in that menopausal stage? Or are you planning for a pregnancy? Or is it soon after pregnancy? All of these things matter. Some have difficulty in exercising because of jobs. There are so many pressures, no? There are financial pressures also. You know what? With my profession, what I've noticed is it's not just about giving a diet chart. It doesn't stop there. We also have to look at what are they going through in their personal or professional lives. We can't even judge. There are so many people right now with AI. There's so much of stress about will I lose the job?
That's true.
There are financial constraints. And there's a lot running in their mind. And if you keep pushing them to do this, I think we'll have to give something very sustainable. Also understand that there could be something that can be shared. There are a few issues that they can't even share. And they might be going through a lot of stress. And I think a lot of hand-holding needs to be done at that point in time.
That's true, no?
It is.
Because sometimes, I mean, especially if you're going on a diet, already you're sad you're going on a diet. I don't think nobody happily goes on a diet. And then you have your stress of your professional, personal life. And then you go say, you have to eat this sundal, gindal, and all. You're like, but I read this somewhere, Shiny. I wanted to ask you, carbs are best eaten when they're dressed. Like how we dress per occasion. I wanted to ask you about this. They said if you dress it correctly, it's consumed properly. Like if you have to dress it, say a carb, you dress it with protein and some fiber.
Yes.
Not only fiber or not only protein, that you have to dress it up properly, like how you would dress and go out. Then it's digest properly and you don't have your other like weight gain and stuff like that. What's your understanding of it?
Absolutely. Spot on.
Yeah.
Very impressive. So you're right. Yeah, not naked carbs, but then you make sure that there is fiber and protein in every meal. Then you will enjoy the carbs. See, I'll tell you, it has to be a sustainable plan. Okay, unless of course you have something. For example, there are people who will come because they want to conceive, and then the gynec will say, make sure they lose this amount of weight so that I, get them ready for an embryo transfer. And this is the final attempt, and we don't want to, miss out on any aspect. So within a month, 6 to 8 kg weight loss, we make it happen. Okay, or there could be someone who is supposed to go for a bariatric procedure, but then you have this conversation, or the doctor would have said, "Ninge itne kilo korenge," then you might not even need the surgery. Okay, right? Or maybe a knee replacement. So based on the situation, you can fine tune it. But now dressing the carbs is a great idea, even for diabetes or PMOS and all of that. We'll always say do a meal sequencing. You start a meal with a nice,
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, a glass of buttermilk.
Yeah.
Right? You can start with that. Eat a cucumber. or else have a cup of salad, then eat some eggs or else some pieces of meat,
Mhm.
and then proceed to eat the rice with the vegetables and the korambu and all of that, or chapatis and any side dish to go with it. So
Mhm.
by the time you go and touch your rotis or else rice, then automatically the quantity will reduce. And also, if you're chewing well, see, if you don't hydrate well, you will constantly feel that you're hungry. We
Yeah.
tend to perceive thirst as
There's
hunger.
Yeah.
That's another factor. And if you're not sitting in front of the TV or any kind of gadget, because if you're distracted and if you're not mindful, haven't you noticed we all tend to eat a lot
I eat
more
only in front of the TV.
TVs? See, sometimes it's TV and the phone, and then you're eating. You don't register what happens. So, one of the biggest takeaways is all about mindful eating. Pay attention, register. So, even if you're eating a gulab jamun, if you're going to enjoy that, register that, and you're going to eat with all your senses, you will love it. Or if you're eating something crunchy, just imagine if you're able to register it, you're enjoying it. And more than a diet, if it's part of a sustainable plan, I think it will last longer. Which does have, biryani, a nice pizza, or maybe even burgers. Now, can you make the burgers at home? Can you do a pan fry cutlets?
You can do anything.
Anything,
now
right?
You can, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about how well can you incorporate all of this. So that's when a client comes, we'll always ask, what is your most favorite food? What is it that you hate? And what are your non-negotiables? Coffee usually comes in there.
Mine is always that.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what is your non-negotiable? Adu edutha avladhaan thalavali varum and you won't even follow the diet.
Coffee.
Yeah. And then childhood. What is it that reminds you of childhood? Yeah.
Some people have texture issues also, no? With food.
Yeah, they don't like crunch. Some really need the crunch. I've seen a lot of people who say, then we'll be like, okay, let's have some baked tate or else a om podi, which is not like deep fried.
Okay.
So then we look at even cucumbers, carrot sticks for the crunch. So if we start asking this, we get a lot of information and then you work around it. Then it's more sustainable. Just imagine Sunday you can eat biryani in Sonna. Will they be happy? Homemade biryani.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're in control of the amount of meat that goes in, right?
Yeah.
And also the oil that you use.
That's true.
Yeah.
But circling back to meal sequencing, why is that we follow such a protocol of what goes in first? What is the logic behind
or
it?
how does it help?
How does it help?
Yeah, the thing is, if you're eating a lot, first is drinking buttermilk because it's probiotic. Okay, it's very good for nurturing your bacteria inside your gut. That is one. Next is you're having liquids, you're also eating solids, and sometimes when you eat something raw, you can't swallow. You will have to chew well. Most of us do not take time to chew, and that's one of the biggest problems. The more you chew, this sends a signal to your brain to say this person is eating. Or if you're gulping down only liquids, it's like, oh, I'm drinking water. That's the message that's going. So it'll be good to have a lot of food where you end up chewing. And when you chew, you actually slow down. You set the pace for the meal. This fills you up very quickly because step by step you're eating all this. The quantity of chapatis or rice or any main dishes will reduce drastically. So that way, you still get to enjoy what is prepared at home. Not everyone has a chef or a cook at home, right? So it depends on who you are. What are the resources at your disposal? What is the budget for food? Based on that, this is something which is more doable. It's much more easier. And then it cuts the quantity, the fiber, protein, everything comes in, and the carbs come towards the end. Quantities reduce. It's easy.
It is. When you say it like that, yeah. I'm like, I don't eat half of these things while I'm eating.
See, a lot of us take pride in telling, I eat fast, I dress up fast, right? Yeah, it's like, give me 5 minutes, I'll be ready. Right? We do that.
Yeah.
See, sometimes the easiest way to slow down will be even just drink a glass of warm water because you can't gulp it down.
You can't.
Yeah. So before a meal, even if you were to just drink a glass of warm water, it kind of just slows you down. You calm down and then you start eating. Yeah. That slowing down is kind of helpful. Why? Because if you've seen your social media team, I'm sure there were phases when they said, oh, reels for 1 minute. And then it reduced to 45 seconds. Okay, you don't have a team. Okay, haven't you seen the time which has come? Attention span is
because attention span has come down.
Yeah, so that instant gratification or doing things quickly, I think is
Now everyone wants like fast. Information fast. Weight loss fast. I mean, it's okay, but sometimes, but not always. The next thing I wanted to ask you was, there are people now measuring their food constantly. Like, for example, my brother. when he sits down for lunch, he has the weighing scale next to him.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about food being measured to like constantly before being eaten?
What's his goal? Because
He's lost weight now. I mean, he started off like that, so I think he's just become habitual. But I have friends also who measure everything and eat. But do you think people start obsessing, like they measure, then you have these apps that will tell you how many calories you're eating? But do you think that also plays with people's minds?
It does. But probably it is also very helpful. See, for someone who has a target and wants to shrink in size before a certain, timeline, then I think the measuring and all that keeps a check. And they get to see how much you're supposed to eat after cooking and all of that. Gives them a fair idea. So it's great for starters. And then over a period of time, you also know how much to eat of what.
Yeah.
You figure that out. Some get very anxious. Some might get very, very, they might end up feeling extremely stressed if they're going to be measuring all the time. Even a CGM, which you have, to measure the blood sugar.
Yeah.
Or else if you're having, like, say, any of the wearables. Yeah. It's so helpful. But I've also met someone who's a cricketer, a former cricketer, but now into more of strategy. He's a strategist. And he was telling, like, I used it for a complete 1 year. And after that, he doesn't use any wearables. It works for some, it doesn't work for some. Reason being, you only have to see what serves you. But if it's going to take the peace.
That's true.
Or if you are a type A personality who will hyperventilate or go through panic attacks and all that, it's better to stay away.
I can agree with that, because I got the Whoop because I have severe anxiety and my heart rate keeps going up. So I wanted to monitor it closely. But I also have the watch, because that I wanted to see how many steps I was walking when I was walking.
Yeah, it helps.
It helps, because
helpful.
this you have to open the app. This you can just see on the dial how many steps you're walking, how many kilometers you have walked. But the thing with the Whoop, I mean, I absolutely love it. It tells you your heart rate, the zones you are when you're training. I realized that when I was feeling anxious, if I opened the app, I could see my heart rate increasing because I was just staring at it and I was like, oh my God, my heart rate is so high. And it was increasing because of that. But yeah, there are two sides to it.
Absolutely. You said it. It's just that our personality type also matters.
Yeah, I'm type A.
No, I'm glad that you figured out. You know what could trigger, right? What could calm you down, what could trigger. Yeah. And there are people, I don't care.
I wish I was.
There are such people also. Maybe for them, it might help to do some portion controlling and some weighing. So if it works for you, great. Okay. Otherwise...
I think it's just according to the person.
According to the person. You're right. Because there are some of our clients who really need daily monitoring. Okay. And there are some who will be like, back off. You don't have to check on me every day. So that's when over a period of time, you understand each one is different. And they're like, I'll show up once a month. I'm okay with it. And there are some who are like, I need to see you every 10 days. So again, it's how they want to be monitored. That's or who you are as a person.
That's important, no?
Yeah, it is. So there's a lot of, not just nutrition, it's behavioral science, psychology.
Everything together.
Everything. And sometimes you also have to negotiate. It's like, okay, you want to lose this weight, right? You have this target. Okay, now why don't you just include these many fruits in a day and it might help. So there's a lot of psychology involved when it comes to not just nutrition, exercise and everything.
That's true. No?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree. So Shiny, now I've realized something. At 35 this year? 35. Things that I've been eating all my life are not agreeing to me half the time. Let it be chapati or let it be milk. What is happening? Why are people suddenly becoming intolerant towards food they've eaten all their life?
Yeah. So there are times that things do change, either in our lifestyle or the things that's available in the market itself is quite adulterated, or there could be hybrid varieties. See, there are a lot of hybrid varieties that come into the market because you want weather resistant, pest resistant, and you also want to support the farmer to get more yield per hectare, right? So biotechnologists work on all of this. And you have all these new things that come, and then you just basically want to protect the farmer.
Okay.
So now with all these changes, the grain, where it all started, what the grandparents ate and what we are eating now, there's been a lot of change. Now, these new versions could cause a lot of discomfort. That is one. Next thing is, if you are a person who ends up eating out, not you, basically, if there's anyone who travels quite a lot for whatever reasons, eats from outside, we don't know what's available. how well it's cooked, or how the ingredients are, right? So all of that. How much do you walk or move around? You use a band, so you know how many footsteps you're covering, but not everyone will monitor that. So there could be days that a day just passes by and you haven't really walked enough or moved enough.
Okay.
So sitting is the new smoking. You have heard about this, right?
Yeah.
Now this can also affect the gut in a big way. And as much as this protein is very important, people miss out on the fiber. And also there are people who don't drink enough water. The simplest thing that one should pay attention to is water. Because immediately the moment you hydrate yourself, and if you're living in a place like Chennai, okay, it's terribly hot, and this year has been so challenging. So we'll have to look into all of this. Now beyond this, there's food intolerance or food allergy. Allergy is a reaction which you will see immediately, right? And you might have to really take medical assistance. Intolerance is something which will be there, very subdued, but it can just last for years and also lead to autoimmune disorders. So if you do not pick it up much earlier in the years, because you'll have to see if there's bloating, burping, lot of flatulence, okay, or you just feel that the gas or it's just stuck here and it doesn't even move anywhere.
It'd be like it's clogged. The
Clogged.
system
You're
is
right.
clogged.
Yeah, that's the word. So if it is like that, then definitely one has to go for a checkup. So there's something called nutrigenomics test. We asked all our clients to get it done, because just once in a lifetime you get this done. Then you know. You just have to give your saliva sample to a lab, and they run these tests. It takes around 15-20 days for the results to come. You really have to wait for it. But then once it comes, then it clearly indicates whether you have lactose intolerance or a gluten intolerance, or a regular folic acid is enough, or can you eat nuts or not? Is there a disposition or predisposition towards heart problem or not? And caffeine. See, some people can drink coffee and then sleep in the next 10 minutes. If I want to drink coffee now, that's it. Shivaratri the So I'm a slow metabolizer. So I knew all of this in 2008, because at that time I was also going through IVF, and I was just doing every possible test. And this had just come to the market, so I got a nice nutrigenomics test. And it's like, oh my God. So that's when I stopped eating chapatis and paneer and cheese and anything to do with wheat, and it made a huge difference. Otherwise, I had brain fog and I was wondering why I was bloated all the time. Made a world of difference.
So I need to take this test.
Yeah. So it could be food intolerance or food allergy also.
But is food intolerance like reversible?
Okay, it depends on other factors. For some people, if they're going through a very stressful period. I still remember one of my senior, her mother-in-laws all were falling sick. They were all in their 80s, 90s. One by one, they were falling sick. She was running around. She was going through immense stress. And she was also at the top in her profession at that time, which means going to conferences, doing research and everything. Sometimes when you're juggling all of that, a lot of stress could come. So she was sensitive, allergic to certain foods. And after a period when things kind of settled down, it all just vanished. She could just eat anything and everything. So it all depends on what's going on parallelly in your life. And when you get stressed, don't we all have that queasiness, or else there could be a lot of anxiety that could come? See, what you eat affects your brain.
Yeah.
Right? So if you were to eat foodstuffs that doesn't suit you, you could feel very dull, or else you could forget things, or you could have this fog. Or if you're highly stressed, you could have loosies. Right?
So like irritable bowel, right?
Yeah. In a day, there could be like 5-6 times if you go to the restroom. And also we have clients who will say, I can't sit through a corporate meeting. Right from the board meeting, I had to rush to the restroom and all of this happened. So how do I control this? So the way you think, so it's a lot of psychosomatic diseases are there. It's all interconnected. So it's a combination of things. So back to your question, you asked whether it can be solved. It depends on what it is. Maybe sometimes it can be controlled. It can be regulated. And in certain cases, say for example, I am lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant, but I love my filter coffee.
Me too.
So
I still drink it.
Yeah, even I drink. I'll use a lactose-free milk.
Ah.
Or if I were to use the almond milk, it'll be a 30 ml coffee. Under 2-3 sips, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy to start the day with that little bit, because that coffee flavor is something that I really love. But then I don't have coffee for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Likewise, rotis, if I really crave for a paratha or fulkas, I will eat. So once in a while is fine. But if I were to do like a wheat upma in the morning, for lunch rotis, and for dinner if I'm going to have goduma rava upma,
You're done.
I'm done.
That's true.
Yeah. So how much can you tolerate is the question. Yeah. and a proper diagnosis.
That's interesting. I always wondered that if it could be like reversed.
Yeah.
But everything is gut related, no? That's why I think
It is.
everyone's like gut health, gut health. How do you know that your gut is not in good health? What are the symptoms?
That's what good proper bowel movement, and then making sure that the stools are well formed, and bloating or gas, excessive. A little bit of gas you release, it's fine. But if it's going to stink quite a lot, and if you're constantly passing gas, that you're finding it uncomfortable in public spaces or in a workspace and all of that, that is one. Or if you're burping, belching loudly, that's another thing. And then a bloat that is always there, that it doesn't, you don't fit into certain clothes. That's another thing. And if there's some kind of discomfort where you're not able to pay attention or see through the day completely, if it even affects your head. Sometimes when you eat something, you just feel that there's a dull headache. The headache might go once you poop, once you clear, right? So start observing all of this. It really makes a world of difference. If your gut is sorted, everything is...
Yeah, because everything,
it's all interconnected.
Yeah. And it's the one that sends the transmitters to the head and you know what's happening. The brain fog and all is because of that, no?
Yes. But, so if you take care of your gut, this is your engine. Like how you just protect it, guard it, and then movement helps, sleep helps, being aligned to sleep wake cycle helps. It's a combination. And keep the gut happy by more kudikkirathu, curd probiotic, and eating a variety of vegetables. You're supposed to take around 40 varieties. If you're eating 3 meals a day, konja vegetable, different combinations, not just vegetable, even fruits, even sprouts, your sundal, whatever it is, get some fiber. And then slowly, you will notice that your gut bacteria is very happy and you will really reap the benefits.
How do you reset your gut? Like, how do you heal it and reset it?
Number one is water, right?
How much water do we actually need?
For a person living in a place which is hot and humid like Chennai, I would say peak summer, so anywhere between 3 to 3.5. But again, it depends. If it is a sports person out there in the ground, sweating quite a lot and all of that, they might need even 4.5. Okay, but if it is someone in a AC environment most of the time and all of that, I would definitely look at 3.5. Okay, again, this will vary according to whether it's an adult or a child. Okay. Now, resetting the gut again would be to make sure that you incorporate some amount of fiber. So when it comes to fiber, a lot of people don't like vegetables. Fruits is something they can happily eat. So 2 to 3 fruits a day, no juices, but just like that. And eating on time, chewing properly. And also making sure that there is some probiotic or else a fermented food. So that's when the buttermilk or else a kanji kuru, right? The paraya sadam which is there, the fermented rice. Urga, yes. A nice homemade urga or else even a tovayal. Those are also really good for the gut. Kombucha, kefir is another thing. Do you like kombucha?
Kombucha, yeah.
Right?
Kefir I haven't tried.
Okay. So kombucha and kefir is also really good. And all these millets, that is the previous day itself, you'll have to cook it and keep. And the next day, you just add buttermilk and then make a kuru and then drink that. And ragi mudde.
Love it.
Yeah.
I like it with chicken curry.
Yeah, you've been, I'm sure.
Ghee and then chicken curry.
How about jolad roti and all that? Because you go to Bangalore so much.
I like all that. Akki roti.
Yeah. Oh, yum. I know. Yeah, I love it. So this is how you reset the gut. In case a person has a lot of, say type A personality or anxiety issues and all, meditation helps a lot. Okay, I went through anxiety during perimenopause. I was like, where is this coming from? Just for no reason getting anxious, and it was at its peak. Yes, because of the hormones. Thankfully, it's all I'm past that stage.
That's good.
But so what helps is a lot of breathing techniques. Because on the time HIIT pandra, just imagine what's going to happen. Already your body's under so much of stress and panic, and then you're out there, you're doing such
heavy duty. Will be somewhere else.
Yeah. So there are days that you should know, okay, Tai Chi, Pilates, or just sitting quiet.
Swimming.
Swimming? Yeah. Has it helped you a lot?
I don't like the water too much, but I've realized that I like running now. It's my new thing.
Okay. Great stress buster, I bet.
Straight.
Right?
Great.
Yeah. That's what I think. If we figure out what we enjoy and do that consistently, and then, that helps in consistency, in fact, if you choose things that you really enjoy doing it, right?
While talking about gut, I wanted to ask you, a lot of people are always like, oh, I can't eat this, and indigestion aavo, and heartburn aavo, and people are like popping pandies like it's candy. Where is that stemming from?
Okay.
No, I have them at home itself, I'm telling you. So I want to know, what is it that is causing so much of heartburn in people? How do you
Okay.
correct it?
See, one is we are ordering more food than any.
Mm.
I remember a client telling, you saved me a lot of money because I hired a cook, pay them a good salary, hired a cook, but I'm not spending like 50 grand to 75 grand for Swiggy bills.
Mm.
So we are eating out a lot. It's very easy. At the touch of a button, you can order food. Number one. We eat at random times. We're not eating on time. Sometimes lunch is eaten at around 4 or 5 p.m. Dinner is at around 11 or 12 or 1. Or if you're craving for a dessert, you can still get it 24/7. So random time, your digestive system is super confused. And if you're not walking, moving enough, sometimes you just don't even realize. You just end up sitting on a couch, doom scrolling. You just want to check a message on WhatsApp, and then you quietly switch to Instagram, and then you're out there doom scrolling. And then there are notifications that's coming. A lot of things happen, right? So these are things that we really need to pay attention. Meet a doctor. There could be some infection. It's very important to meet a doctor and just get a thorough checkup done. Let's not ignore that, because increasingly a lot of people also have certain polyps or else H. pylori infection, or there could be something else very serious, and we shouldn't ignore this at all.
Okay.
Spices, not chewing properly, eating too fast, drinking less water, and maybe even sodas. If you're having a lot of carbonated beverages, that also happens. Okay. And if you're not eating mindfully, you're eating super fast, not paying attention. There's a lot running in the head. And another factor is, I went for a mind-body medicine workshop sometime back in Pune, and they were just telling that this part of the brain, prefrontal cortex, is so stimulated because there's so much of visual stimulus that's coming from the television, laptop, phone, loaded with information, and your mind is
constantly
running, and that causes a lot of cortisol spikes. Okay, you don't know how your gut is reacting. Now, all of that. So there's a whole lot of things that's going on.
Full road.
Yeah. So you really need to know when to take dopamine detox and what is very important. And I think journaling, anchoring, meeting
Adult
a therapist.
coloring.
Yes. Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
I love it too. Yeah, it really calms you down.
It does.
Yeah. Sometimes we just have to stay away from gadgets, and it's okay to be bored, to just sit there and do nothing.
I tell my kids that it's okay to be bored.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really nice. They're getting to hear this from you. Important.
Because I'm bored half the time, so it's okay. You can be bored. I mean, find something to do. Use your imagination. You don't need the device all the time, no?
Correct. Yeah. And play, sport.
Play. Yeah.
Play.
Run around.
Yeah.
I mean, because we live in a community, they do a lot of that.
Really?
So I've not had a problem with movement in the kids.
No, because see, you and Mithun, I think you've always been doing something or the other in terms of exercise, running around, walking, moving around, right? I think that really helps. When kids see parents who are like super active, that inspires them. Because those are the images. And this is normal for you. So they grow up in an environment like that. Yeah, we've seen kids who go for trekking because their parents are out there trekking all the time.
They
month
follow
after
what
month.
you do,
right? Yeah, they observe, they watch, and that's the normal.
Yeah,
I'm glad, the kind of environment that you're giving.
That's true. I want to talk to you about my favorite topic. I mean, because I have it a lot. Cravings.
All of us have.
Why do we have cravings?
What's your most favorite food? What do you crave for? Let's discuss that also.
I have a sweet tooth. My problem is only sugar, nothing else in life. It's only sugar. So I've realized that our body, there are physiological cravings and there is psychological cravings. Like chocolate before a period and also chocolate when you're sad, happy. Where do these come from?
As you said, physiological, psychological, that is there. Sometimes you're also habituated. In certain households, have you noticed, soon after a meal, they will reach out for a kadla mitai or else they'll want that piece of chocolate.
My house.
Yeah, they'll just reach out for something like that, So that is a habit. This is how the household functions.
Okay.
And there'll be this big dabba of mixture on the table. Some will have pal sadam with mambaram. There are all this.
In my house, my husband has his entire 3 meals, there will be karabundi.
See, that's how he's grown up.
Yeah.
So that's normal for him. He's a cricketer, but he's out there, So he's also expending the energy. So it's okay, right? Now, main thing is, it's very, very important to understand where the craving is coming from. Is it a real need?
Okay.
during periods, all of us, before the menstrual cycle, there is a huge craving, and that is the time we also say, please do not cut carbs. Eat that little bit of complex carbs.
Okay.
It can be your brown rice or else red rice, mapla sambarasi, idli or dosa or something like that. Include the carbs. Otherwise, the craving is going to be very, very strong. And it's okay to have healthier options. How about a homemade cake? Can you do something with, say, there's this quinoa dark chocolate cake, or else this dark chocolate cake, or dates, dry fruits and nuts ka laddu, or
Yeah.
it can be any of this, but can you just eat a small piece and be satisfied with that rather than really going berserk? So allocate that so
Okay.
that you really don't go looking for it. Main thing to check for is there could be some B complex deficiencies, okay, or also magnesium, chromium. So if there are deficiencies, there could be craving.
Okay.
Next is if there isn't adequate protein. So protein has to be optimized. Otherwise, you depend so much on carbs that it causes sugar crashes. Blood sugar, every time it hits a low,
You have a craving.
you have a craving. And then as you keep having sugars, again, it will take you down. Then you will reach out for the next. And there are times that you notice that you eat something sweet, you reach out for something salty, then again you go back to something sweet.
Yeah, because you'll eat sweet to such an extent, you'll be like, oh, take it to the... You'll go to salty.
Yeah,
And then you'll be like, okay, this is too spicy, I need something sweet again. So it's like a loop.
It's a loop. Exactly. So one is staying hydrated. And next thing is a lot of awareness. Asking, am I hungry? Or did I sleep well or not? Sleep is another factor I forgot to mention. If you're not sleeping enough, if it's really late, and if there is fragmented sleep, if you keep waking up, I've seen a lot of new mothers who keep waking up for feeding. That's one of the biggest challenges. And then also women who have hit, or rather going through perimenopause, menopause, they wake up several times at night. And that causes a lot of cravings for them. So this is another major factor. So if you can just understand where it's coming from, and you don't have to feel guilty all the time. The reason being, it's okay to eat that one piece of cake or else that laddu and all that. Let's not associate or bring a lot of guilt there. Can you make peace with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know a client who took 5 years. One day she called up and said, Shiny, remember I wanted to quit sugar. It's taken me 5 years, but I've got there. So no jaggery, palm sugar, nothing. She wanted to get to that space, but it took her 5 years.
Wow.
At the end of it, and she said, I've successfully done it, but this is over a period of time. But there are other clients who are like, I enjoy it. I want to keep it there. See, Ayurveda also always talks about, a little of everything, be it even astringent, sour foods, bitter foods, and little of everything. It actually completes your meal, right? So why don't you just allocate that? But can you keep a watch on portion sizes?
Portion size, that's important.
That's it. And this is going to be available for another 100 years.
Yeah.
It won't go anywhere. So we just have to tell ourselves, inniki idu podum. Ivlo na, then I can eat a little bit every other day.
That.
And that works.
That works for me. Like when I started trying to lose weight, I didn't want to give up my sugar. Like I told you, I don't like to give up my coffee, but I cut down my coffee to 1. Like even chocolates, instead of buying the full bars, I would buy the kutty ones.
Good.
So it would just like cover the craving, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you're happy.
You're happy. You're not like shoving that. I would have done that 1 year ago. But yeah, portion size.
Portion sizes matter. And why go through all that? There's otherwise all the conflict in your head that just comes in the way. And why be on a guilt mode all the time?
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of people go through that guilt, Shiny. Like they'll eat, okay, and they're like, shit, I've eaten. I have to run because I have to burn it. I shouldn't have eaten that. I don't have all that feeling. Not anymore, at least. I'm like, Saptama, okay, jolly.
See, I think the happiness quotient is something that you've still kept there.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's all about moderation. When you go through extremes, that's when you see a lot of message via social media or somewhere, there's a lot of fear mongering. Can there be a balance?
Yeah.
See, when we go, say for instance, your friend invites you, you go to a party, and then, there are foods that you really like, but then you're just taking a little of everything and probably having a drink. Then you finish, you go there, dance, you have a good time talking to everyone, and then you come back. You know how much to have. I think it's about portion control. But another factor is if you start cutting, then your social life gets affected.
Yeah.
That's another major thing, right? It's so much fun meeting your friends.
Yeah.
Let's not miss out on that component. But can you eat something and go? So these days when I go for a wedding or anywhere, I eat early. By 5:36, I eat dinner and then go. So then happily meet all the friends, have a good chat, catch up with all of them, and then come home. So that way, it's all pretty sorted. Or carry something while you're in the car. That also can be done. So you just got to plan and see what works. We just have to customize exactly like how we do with our clothes.
With our clothes,
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to touch base upon is the next thing that is demonized is salt.
Okay.
Everyone is like, cut salt. But is salt as bad as they make it to be?
Okay. If there is someone with high blood pressure, salt, sauces, ketchups, then karvadu. Okay. And you also have this mutton or meat which is curated and all of that. And in Sri Lanka and all, people also have this sambal, no?
Yeah.
So in the maasin fish.
I mean, karvadu is sardines madri thana.
So all of this. So salt is used as a preservative. So that is something that you don't want anyone with blood pressure issues, cardiac issues, medical problem, prachana, vanda, moderation. But then, if you're an absolutely normal person, you don't have to cut it out completely, right? You use it in moderation. Usually they say around 5 grams, but then I think we all end up using 20-25 grams because salt could be there in urga, appalam,
in anything.
And in anything. Sometimes when even cooking rice, people add salt to it. In certain households,
they do.
The threshold is really high. That could be pretty high. And if there is some vadagam vattal or, say a bundi or a mixture going in, that. And then in certain snacks, you also have that little, salt and sugar added to it. So that also makes it very interesting. So they end up eating quite a lot, right? So you have to watch out. But as much as it shouldn't be vilified, everything in moderation. If you're sweating quite a lot and if you're not taking adequate salt, you know what could happen.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't need it. If we can just keep it within the limits, it'll be great. For someone who sweats a lot, what do we say?
You have to hydrate, electrolytes.
Electrolytes, exactly. So that's what we do. Yeah.
I heard this somewhere. I think in an interview, someone had given an interview. They said when you drink water, you should put a little sea salt under your tongue and drink the water. You need that minerals. That's when it quenches your thirst. Is it true?
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing this a lot. Even the pink salt and all the sea salt.
What's your view on the salt? Iodized salt, pink salt, what do you think?
Iodized would be good because there's a lot of research which has been done by the National Institute of Nutrition. Okay, because we interact with these scientists, right? When we go for conferences, and they have always given the rationale behind iodization. Okay. If you're not getting iron through other things, this is a very easy way to get the iodine, and that actually protects your thyroid hormone and all of that. So we can't miss out on that at all. So iodized salt, yes. But besides this, if you want to include pink salt, that can be supplementary. Because there are some who completely cut off or rather stop iodized salt and use only these kind of natural salts. It's very divided. See, when it comes to nutrition, you will see hazard theories. And each school of thought is very different. Okay. But if you're it's evidence-based. When you say have iodized salt. National Institute of Nutrition, which comes under Indian Council of Medical Research, then iodized salt helps. Okay. But there are a lot of people who do use rock salt, pink salt and all of that. Let that be the secondary ones.
Okay. So what is the theory of the water and the salt?
Some have mild giddiness or some end up sweating quite a lot. Have you noticed? With the same temperature, there are some who will perspire quite a lot. We call it hyperhidrosis. Okay. Maybe they might benefit when they take that little bit of salt right in the morning because they feel very lightheaded. Some also have low BP. Have you noticed some?
Yeah, my mother.
Okay. So then feeling lightheaded, you don't know when they'll faint or else you just have to make sure that there are around people you're keeping a watch. So they will need water, the volume of liquid, all that is important. That little bit of salt might help them a lot. Provided they also don't have high blood pressure.
No?
Yeah.
So you're talking about having it in the morning. So this person said that every time you drink water, you should put a little bit of salt under your tongue and have it. So her theory is that we are supposed to drink mineral water. And this gives you the minerals, and this is how you really quench your thirst. Because sometimes you might drink so much water and you still feel thirsty.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up. See, there are two things. Okay. One is dehydration. Next is overhydration. Okay, that's also there. So I think she's talking about overhydration. And now when you drink a lot of water, you dilute the salts and that can become dangerous. In fact, there are people who have collapsed and passed away because of hyperhydration. Drinking too much water because you think you might get into dehydration, and this dilutes the salt. So that leads to hyponatremia, which is low sodium. It dilutes the salt and then they can even collapse. Okay, that is one likelihood. And the other side is extreme dehydration.
Mm.
This can also kill a person. This can also kill a person.
Okay.
So it's all about trying to find the mid space, not black or white, but gray, right? Can we be in that mid space? Now, who requires it? Are you sweating quite a lot? And are you getting enough minerals? What are the other minerals? Do you eat fruits and vegetables?
Mm.
Okay. Are you likely to get a lot of low BP? Are you running or doing workouts, or are you in workspaces where you end up sweating quite a lot? You might need that extra additional salt.
Okay.
And that kind of helps you stay stable.
Okay. So recently I had gone to the physiotherapist to get dry needling done. And she touched me and she said, "You are dehydrated." But I felt perfectly fine.
Okay.
What are the symptoms that we don't notice, or we don't even feel it sometimes, but are signs that we are dehydrating?
One is to check the color of urine every time we use the washroom. Next is also checking. You could just check. Yeah. Sometimes if there is a lot of dryness, you will see that showing up.
Okay.
Next is also parched lips, throat being very dry. Okay. Feeling tired.
Okay.
And sometimes your eyes also might feel very, very dry. That's another factor. And see how supple your skin is. I think that is a very great indication. And sometimes we don't even realize that we are highly dehydrated because we depend a lot on thirst. See, when thirst sets in, already 1 to 2% of water would have lost. You'd have lost it. So even if you're sitting in an AC environment, there is insensible perspiration. We do lose water as well. So that is one. So you don't have to necessarily be out there in the sun, but you could be in an AC environment. And because of the air condition, we might not feel the need to drink enough water. And you won't even realize how much water you've lost.
That's true.
And next is also the lights, right? All of that, the exposure to all of this. So we really have to pay attention. The symptoms I would look for is dry skin, okay, throat, dryness. Sometimes you might even feel very hot. Have you felt like sometimes you shake the hands and then someone tells you, you feel very warm. What's happening?
Usually I have a headache and then I'm like, okay, maybe I haven't had too much of water.
Yeah, that's a very good indication. Yes. Besides all of this, yes, headaches, and then also the feel or the need to eat a lot more.
Really? You crave more?
You crave more. You definitely end up eating a lot more. So that's why we say before you actually reach out for some snack or else to even eat, why don't you drink a glass of water? Wait for 5 minutes. If you're having hunger pangs, first drink a glass of water. Sit for 5-10 minutes and see whether that sensation goes away. Then probably you were not hungry at all. You were just thirsty.
That's what. No, a lot of people get confused between thirst and
hunger. Yes. Headache is very good symptom. Reason being, there are times when you're traveling somewhere, say for instance by road, and you don't want to use any washrooms. So for the next 6-7 hours, say for instance you're driving down to Bangalore. You go to Bangalore quite often.
I would never go by car. Too much traffic. Oh my God, have you been there?
Yes. Yeah. And also flight travel.
Yeah.
What if you're someone who's constantly flying?
Altitude, no?
Yeah. And if you're drinking juice there while in the plane.
So I read that when you're traveling, you should drink tomato juice.
Electrolytes. Yeah. You can get electrolytes, salts even through that. Yeah, fruit, vegetable juices. There are so many minerals that come in that.
They said virgin Bloody Marys because it has spice, it has tomato juice, it's got that sauce and everything. So it's a good concoction.
Plain water. That's the best.
This is the virgin Bloody Mary, not the alcoholic.
I get it.
So after being in this industry for so many years, Shiny, what is the best diet? What is the best diet? Is it the East, the West? What is the best diet?
I feel our Indian diets are amazing.
Yeah.
Adli mein, if you see what is sustainable, what is available locally, I think that's something. See, all of us have grown up in different parts of India, right? And then there are things that we bring to our table because it's part of your childhood. There are South Indians who have grown up in the North and they eat only chapatis. They love it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to eat rice at all.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are some of us who like our akki roti or else ragi mudde or jolada roti or tair sadam. Putte, tair sadam, right? Yeah. So I think we have to factor in that aspect. The ethnicity is important.
Okay.
And I feel when it comes to Indian diets, and the more I see, though I'm from Kerala, I've grown up here. And I see Tamil sapad is great because there's keera. I've had neighbors from Kumbakonam, Virudhunagar, Sathangulam,
Tirunelveli, all these places.
And I would just see them like every other day there'll be one towel, and then keera.
Yeah.
And our local food, when you eat local food, you're getting the maximum nutrients, right?
Yeah.
So I think we should just celebrate our tradition, our Indian foods. It's all about just striking a balance. And if we can just focus on getting that protein and adequate fiber in, it will be superb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, and I also 100% agree with it, that our thalis are the best because they're so proportional with everything that you need: your fiber, your protein, your probiotic, your sweet.
That
also.
ghee. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So if I had to ask you your ideal plate, what would it be?
Okay. For a main meal, breakfast or lunch?
Just like a thali.
Like a thali. Okay. Definitely a little bit of, say, roti or else rice.
Okay.
Now for rice, it'll be great if you could use some ancient rice.
Like your Kerala rice is also nice, no?
Yeah, the matta rice is good. Yeah. You know something? There's something called a high protein rice. There's something called Likiti Machi, Bora, Sukdas.
What is that?
Yeah, these are all names of rice in India. Okay, they've revived it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
You do get this rice. And
so you have to know this. I'm not a rice eater. I don't like rice.
Okay.
I mean, I eat it in other formats like dosa and I'm a tiffin person.
Okay. Yeah, for the ones who are vegetarians and all, we do, show them this option as well. Okay. So you can either have like rotis or this ancient traditional rice once in a while, and then definitely a cup of greens, but not every day. It can be alternate days because there's too much of oxalate there. So you don't want to. Oxalate again is one of the components. You don't want to eat too much of it.
That's why they tell you not to eat spinach every day?
Yeah. Okay. It's better that you keep it to thrice a week. Okay, that is one. A cup of dal and some non-veg to go with it, and a vegetable which is not way too starchy. So
chow chow?
Could be chow chow or any of this, avaraka, varathandu and all, cabbage, cauliflower, any of that. So 2 vegetables definitely, and the ratio should be for 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of vegetables, and then 1 protein component. So that can either be paneer or else tofu, or it can be any non-veg. Okay. So that will be fabulous. That will be ideal. And if you like your appalam and vadam and all, probably air fried, roasted, in case there is a weight loss as one of the goal. Otherwise, if you're absolutely healthy, please go ahead, eat. All portion control is. And if you still like a sweet or something, I think any of those.
Burfis. Your chikki.
Chikki, ellurunde, all of that, pottukadlu unde, those things are also perfectly fine.
I love it. You're feeling hungry only talking to you. So, Shiny, this is one thing I think a lot of people, you've also spoken about it, sleep. Like people know they have to sleep, but it's not spoken too much and they don't understand the importance of it. You can diet, you can exercise, but if you don't get that sleep, you're not going to lose that weight. Yeah. How does sleep program everything else?
So there are 3 hormones. Okay. One is insulin. All of us have spoken about it so much. Okay. Then there's leptin and ghrelin. Okay. Insulin regulates all your sugar control. Okay. Leptin is something that gives you satiety. You feel satisfied after eating a meal where you're not looking for food or a snack for the next 2-3 hours. You feel satiated because of leptin. Okay. Next is also ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. You feel extremely hungry because ghrelin is at play. Now these 3 can become resistant if you're not sleeping. As simple as that. Just imagine what will happen. So if you're not sleeping, you'll feel hungry all the time. You eat, but you still feel it's not very complete. Then you're looking for some snacks. And then if there is no insulin which is working properly, then you're constantly looking for some carbs or sweets or something or the other. So these 3 can get completely messed up if you're not sleeping. Something as simple as even for a week. There are research which shows even 5 days of not sleeping properly can affect your hormones in a big way. And it's not about just 8 hours of sleep. It's ideally, you should be aligned with sunrise and sunset. So if you can get to bed at least by 10:30, 11, then your body, physical as well as your mental repair happens while you sleep. And you won't even realize there are times that we are like a zombie, feeling anxious or feeling the need to eat more because you haven't slept properly. So you don't want to mess up with sleep. And there are times when we work with a lot of people who are like monitoring everything, your CGM, your watch, wearables, everything. But the moment they start sleeping well, they actually start seeing results much faster. And that's amazing. We have seen when people go through massive transformations, sleep is the most important component. That's the foundation on which you build everything else. Otherwise, the constant food craving or energy being low or bad recovery after exercise. Imagine you exercise and then, you have domes, and then exactly on the alternate days when you do weight training, you show up to the gym, but you don't have energy. You won't do justice to your workouts at all.
So for people who don't understand what DOMS is, it's just soreness after exercise.
Yeah, anga vali.
Anga, yo, karappa, nikappa. Okay.
And adume immediate illa, right?
Yeah.
It comes after a
It
day.
comes after 6 hours. If you work out in the morning, by 6 o'clock, you're like, I know. So yeah, that's only DOMS.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are the 3 biggest mistakes people are making with sleep?
One is gadget usage. Okay,
Yeah.
constantly scrolling, and that has become a habit. I've done that too. Yeah,
I still do.
and my husband will be like, "Put the phone down." So that has happened. Yeah, that's one. It's so addictive. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Next is, if you were to eat a heavy meal, it will affect the sleep because you're just feeling no digestible. And then there are people who just eat and then within
Go
the
lie
next
down, no?
half an hour, they go lie down. Or they'll say, I'm just going to lie down. So that is another. Another factor is evening workouts. There are a lot of people who struggle to sleep because they've done so much of workout in the evening. Their adrenaline is so high, they're not able to calm down. They're ready to go out and work, or else, they want to go out, meet friends, go for a drive. All of these things happen. So evening workout is not something that I recommend for people who really struggle with sleep. So have you noticed, Ray? You watch a lot of these programs now. OTT.
Yeah.
We watch quite a lot of these things. And if you watch these American or anything from a Western country, you see people who will just buy, say, a bagel or else like a hot dog, and then they're eating, walking around, or they're moving around with a coffee cup, right? Somewhere these images remain in your head and you feel it's okay. You can drive a car and then you're also eating, take a bite and all of that. But if you look at our Eastern culture, you'll actually sit down, pay attention, eat. You're not eating on the move, but you're anchoring. You sit in one place and mindfully eating. And I think when you do that, when you honor that, it calms you down, it anchors you. It really settles a lot of things. I think this is very, very important. You just don't want to miss out. Okay, back to what you asked. These 3 mistakes is what I would strongly say, because once you do this, if you set that right, you can sleep very well. Yeah.
It's mainly the gadget, no? That's the problem.
And also watching anything stimulating. If you want to watch news in the night, it could disturb you.
Yeah, with all the current news, you're always like, oh my God, what world am I living in?
Yeah, you hear about some news, you hear about something very upsetting, then you might dream about it. That could upset your mind a lot. You don't want that. You could have a disturbed sleep. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about kids, because I have 2 kids and I have one child who eats properly. She'll try every food. I have one child who's the fussiest eater. When do you know that fussy can be, it's like a normal transition of life, and when do we need to be worried?
As a child, I was very bad with my eating habits.
Okay.
All that I would eat was, say, curd rice, vendaka, urlakarangu, and that's it. Okay, and would fall sick often.
Okay.
But I remember, I think in 8th or 9th standard is when my mother really sat me down, and during one of the typhoid or jaundice or malaria, I don't remember, very high fever. I was crying. I didn't want to pop the pill because bitter pill and all of that. Then my mother said, if only you start eating vegetables and all of these things will change. You know what? Children change. Usually, for example, if they're going for some sports and the coach says, you'll do really well, you'll win the championship if you focus on your food also. And they'll come back and say, my teacher told, my coach said. There'll be a complete turnaround that will happen.
Okay.
You'll be pretty surprised. You'll be wondering, oh my God, is this my child who's actually paying attention to the food and water and all that? Because the ones whom they admire quite a lot, or their favorite teacher, their favorite coach would have mentioned that. Or you want to really prove a point, maybe in sports, or else you want to excel in academics, or sometimes I've seen with teens, they like somebody.
Yeah.
They want to impress the girl. Okay. So they'll do whatever it takes to make the transformation. That happens.
That's true. I was having this conversation with a couple of other moms, and she's like, my son is on like counting protein, saying, Mom, don't put that bread. Then she realized all the boys in that class were trying to get a certain look, this new lean look that is in trend. And she's like, oh my God, it's terrible. He's not letting me put salt. He's not letting me put sugar. He's not letting me put anything. And then on the other side, my son is there. He'll eat only 4 items. And I'm like, dude, how much of rotation? So the thing is, when okay, like it's a phase. My brother went through that where he wouldn't eat. Then he went to a point where he was only eating, where we had to tell him, listen, boss, you need to stop eating. But how do you balance out the nutrients they're missing because of this fussiness?
Yeah, you really have to come up with recipes where you mask everything. Because they might just outright reject certain things. You try giving avaraku, he'll be like, oh God, no way, right? Or papaya. There are certain foods that children will just outright say no to it. But then there are kids also who will be like, okay, I don't mind eating, I'll try, I'll see how it is. So can you put vegetables in a muffin? Or else can you grind it nicely and then mix it up, say in your sambar, where they don't get to see the vegetables. You make chutney. So innovative recipes help a lot. And next thing is also, you will have to strategically look at a time, situation, and then sneak this information in. It works. For example, if your child is talking about championships or else excelling in sports or say academics or some conversation like this, and you can say, besides working on all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, try to focus on this also. This component also will really contribute, or it'll help you get or reach your goal.
Okay.
That works. Parents at the dining table, okay? If you're making faces and say, I don't like this pavaka, enakku idu venda, enakku idhaan pidikkum, your child is quietly watching there, right? Now they will pick it up because you are the hero, you're the heroine for them. And whatever your parents say, it'll be like, I'm like my mom, I'm like my dad. These are things that comes up in conversations when children sit and talk.
Yeah.
So they're observing, right?
That's
so if they find you eating or incorporating a lot of this, and if you also involve them in cooking, if there's some kind of meal preparation or something is happening, if they are there in the kitchen, there's a sense of pride when they say, I have made this food, and they will eat. They'll at least try a few mouthfuls. Okay, so if you can help them participate in the process of cooking, or else you take them to the market, or say there's some
the buying
shopping
process.
Yeah, if you can include all of them, it'll be fabulous. And there will come a time when children actually turn around. I've seen that happen quite a lot. Yeah, and but if you tell them all the time, it can be pretty annoying. See, a child who doesn't like vegetables, if you were to give them, like, say, a mushroom spinach quiche, or else a muffin, or you give it in some form, a keera sapda pidikadu, ana vadaila pota they might eat. So you just have to think of such, innovative recipes.
I've been doing that with Tarak. Like, we grind spinach and put it into the puri batter.
Fantastic.
So when you say Hulk puri.
Yeah, Hulk puri, wow. That's great.
I don't know how long that's going to run, but yeah.
But beetroot, carrots, you do get these powders.
All that.
You can add it to milkshakes. It tastes yum.
The other thing is he doesn't like to drink milk. So my next question to you is, do kids actually need to drink milk?
Very debatable. A lot of people might not like it. Okay. Do children need to drink milk is your question, right? Some children don't like it. Okay. But can you give it as paneer? Or can you give it as curd? And is it possible to get calcium through other sources also?
Okay.
Not necessarily as milk, but can there be other milk products that can be incorporated? That'll be great. A fresh homemade paneer. I grew up in Calcutta, and my different dabbas, my mother would always make fresh paneer using lemon juice. Okay, and she'll just give a small portion every day. And we used to love it. This is how we grew up in Calcutta. Okay, but then curd again was a staple. So there could be other forms which your child is more receptive to. So you might want to consider that.
Okay.
And not necessarily as only plain milk. Okay. So I'm someone who will always check if there is any lactose intolerance. Because I found mine only in 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had asthma as a child. I've suffered quite a lot. So when I look back, I'm looking at what damage drinking that amount of milk would have done to my system. And probably those days there were no tests like this, right? Yeah. So we might be doing more harm to the child if we don't realize that there could be an allergy or an intolerance. So you really have to watch out.
That's very interesting you said that, because I have a friend whose daughter had these wheezes, constant wheezes. And she was like, I'm not able to pinpoint what is causing them. It was lactose.
There you go.
She said the minute I stopped lactose, the wheeze disappeared.
Yeah.
And that child needed nebulizer, everything. Poor thing.
Yeah. So how many hospital visits?
Exactly.
The frequency would have come down. The mother would have been, otherwise she would always be in a panic mode.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And one more thing is, curd doesn't have lactose. When you add the starter on the orotro, right, the curd doesn't have it. So when you're setting curds, and curd is something which is very comfortable. You can just add some vegetables, or else you can just give it as a curd rice or in different forms, or just plain yogurt, 1 cup. And the child might happily accept that, but not as milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember working with a pediatrician, and she does a lot of research with children who have autism or even I think couple of behavioral issues and all. And she also mentioned when you remove milk products, it has helped a lot. Apparently, these children were pretty sensitive to it, and they had frequent cold, cough, phlegm, which means they would end up missing few days every month. They wouldn't be able to go to the school. So the infection came down. Just like how you mentioned about your friend, the infection rates reduced drastically, and they were able to show up to school regularly.
Wow.
That was great.
Imagine, no?
Yeah.
But you'll never think like a child. It's not like a immediate thought, no? Like when an adult, you're like, it's the coffee.
Yeah.
But for the child, because you're always, I mean, from childhood, you're programmed to think you have to drink milk.
Correct.
You have to drink milk. So it's not the first thing that you would think that a child would be lactose intolerant.
But we do have options, no? You can give so many other, there's ragi milk, and you can use almond milk and cashew milk, and there are so many other. It depends on the budget and
depends on the child
options.
Also.
Depends on the child. Yes.
Ask me, my son will be like.
So what do you give? Is there something that he drinks?
My pediatrician actually suggested giving Pediasure. I mean, he would drink milk. He won't like have plain milk, but he would have Pediasure. He eats yogurt and he has curd and stuff like that. I'm not worried about him. After seeing my brother, I'm like, I know where he's going to end up. So I'm like, it's okay.
Children change. They can come and surprise you.
They do change, Shiny. But now also you have so many things. Like now, I've realized that markets, the new market is kids protein shakes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't recommend. We really have to look into the ingredients. Yeah. Because I still remember having this conversation with a doctor, a nephrologist, as well as a clinical dietitian who's into hospital. And she said, always look at the renal solute load, which means the load which is on the kidneys. You know, their body is still evolving. They're still growing. Their growth is not complete. Okay, don't put undue pressure. Can there be a balance so that they're eating the grains and all the 5 food groups where, you know, meat and beans and milk products and, you know, everything comes.
Yeah.
So let's not isolate them, because I still remember having this child who was into swimming, who came when he was 13 or 14, and he was sold to the idea that supplements is everything. At a very young age, when someone is introduced to supplements, he would just take vitamins. He'll say, this is a substitute for vegetable. This is a substitute for fruit. And he kept popping pills. And as an adult, he has really abused the system with a lot of, you know, taking too many nutraceuticals or supplements rather than eating real food. So I think we have to be very cautious.
Careful, no? Like even when I spoke to someone, they were like, oh, it's okay if you give it to your son, but make sure you don't give it to your daughter because it might speed up the coming of age process as well. Giving protein shakes. I'm not sure how true it is. I mean, it was not a doctor who said it. So,
okay.
And I was like, you know what, because he was so fussy and I was trying to find alternatives to balance out the nutrients he was missing. So then I was like, no, just eat fruits. You eat your raw vegetables, the 3 vegetables you eat, you just eat that.
Just eat that, right?
Why experiment?
Yeah, not a protein shake, I wouldn't recommend. But there are these products which are designed for children, which does have some amount of carbohydrates and all of that. There is some plant protein added to it. Those kind of products are also there. But is this absolutely necessary? Or can you make something like a sattamavu kanji? Or can there be a combination of few things which works for your child? And you add some cocoa powder to it. Or else some flavor, vanilla essence, or there could be some cardamom essence. Or can there be fruit juices that's given to a child? A child can absolutely have, you know, juices, then that's great. You don't have to push, you just have to work around.
So how do we like teach our children saying, we don't say this is bad for you, like this is bad food, this is good food, but
correct,
teach them to have a relationship with food.
So true. The thing is, let's not polarize it. Let's not you know, go to extremes. Okay, so can you factor in, like say for instance in a week, say Wednesday you give say puri and bhaji, okay, or for dinner you're going to have like say some pratas or rotis with some dal makhni which is homemade. And then say on a weekend, say a Sunday morning, you're giving like say millet pancakes and a dollop of butter and some, you know, maple syrup or honey or something like that.
Okay.
The child would love it. And if you're going to make pizzas at home or you make those burger patties at home and then assemble it and involve the child also in making it, it'll be nice. So noodles is fine. Pasta is fine. Okay. And it's all about, can you add a lot of chicken to it? Can you add plenty of vegetables also along with it, or mix it up with the sauce and just blend it. So if we can teach children, it's okay to eat all of this, but you're also out there playing at least for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just send them out and then make sure that they're playing enough, getting some sunlight, drinking water. And over there, when you're meeting a whole bunch of people, also in team sports, you know, the relationship with the others, your social networking skills will be amazing.
That's the thing about sports, no? It teaches you a lot. Other than the sport and winning and losing, it also teaches you a lot of other skills.
Correct. While they're also playing a sport, they'll also carry some snacks. Say, for instance, they'll carry a banana or say a granola bar, and then they'll drink some juice once they come back from the sport. So when they understand that it's all in moderation, Amma doesn't draw a line. And then it's not that every day you're at a birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay. In a month, you can say, okay, these are 4 times that you go out and eat something or drink something.
Yeah.
On the Mari, you can draw.
Okay.
So then, even at home, can you normalize a pizza which is homemade, but you add a ton of healthy stuff there? On the Mari kondu vandita, then there's no problem at all. And the conversations, I think it's very important at home. There are times when I have actually, there could be a client who wants to bring their child, and I'll be like, what is the issue? Then find out. Then it'll be like, you just do all of this, don't bring. Because sometimes, if counting calories start that early, I still remember earlier days of my career, there was a mother who was trying to lose weight, but then she sent the child also for consultation.
Yeah.
The relationship with food, counting calories, it just went to a certain extreme. And every day at the dining table, there'll be a debate. The relationship between the parent and child got so messed up. I've seen that also. As much as it is important, but these days, schools are fantastic. You know, they really have these educational programs, or they give a schedule and say, these are the snacks that you're allowed to bring, or these are things that you can distribute if it's your birthday.
Yeah.
They do specify and say.
Yeah.
So I think these are fantastic initiatives by schools these days. It's good.
Moving on to women.
Okay.
Our favorite topic. Women, I think, they are under the most amount of pressure when it comes to weight. They're expected to look skinny. They're expected to look their best all the time. What does this expectation do to them?
Okay, before I answer, I want to know what's the in thing? Is it about looking skinny? What are you hearing? What are you?
I think people still want to be skinny. I mean, from what I've heard, when I see people talk to me, they want to be skinny, but they also want to be healthy. They want to lift. They want to be able to run. Their main thing is, I need to be healthy even when I'm 60. I don't want any knee pain. I don't want back pain. And I need to do everything to prevent all that. That's the main mindset.
Yeah. Perfect. This is great. Being functionally fit is what you're talking about. Yeah. See, women are under a lot of pressure to look a certain way.
Yeah.
They don't go and ask a man. You know, a man could walk around with a gray hair and it's fine. Yeah. There's not much pressure. And in case if there is a difference in size, no one bothers. Women during periods, you just know 1 week before, during period, and then the 1 week after the period, there is so many fluctuations. There's water retention as much as, 2 to 3 kgs of weight gain, or else they bloat, certain clothes don't fit, right? All that happens. And then there's this constant judgment. You don't know what a person is going through. Exactly. See, I went through IUI and IVF. Okay, 4 IUI, 2 IVFs. Not easy.
Yeah.
And there were injections I was taking. I was going through hormone treatments and all. There was water retention. And there was a phase at some point, people were like, oh, why have you gained weight? You had no clue. I was sitting at home crying, meeting doctors, and then what the embryologist says, what the sonologist says, how that scan went. Only I knew what shit I was going through, right? Yeah, sorry about the word.
Not okay. My mother used worse.
So, and then there were days when there were meltdowns, where there were days when, I might have gone for a baptism, or else I would have gone somewhere, seen a newborn, and that might have just triggered just when you felt that, oh, I've overcome that, and suddenly something might have triggered. So there are phases when you're going through a very vulnerable phase, and then that can change your body completely, right? And then, of course, I also, during pandemic, went through perimenopause and all of that. There were challenges. Oh, sleepless nights. Wide awake from 2 o'clock. And then I would go to bed only by 6:37. And when you're not sleeping, how do you wake up and go to the gym? You can't. True. And sleep becomes the most important thing, right? Yeah. And if you don't sleep, you can't show up to work. All of this. So I think women need a lot of support and empathy, and being functionally fit is important. There are a lot of women who are under immense pressure because they're going through something or the other, and hormones come in their way because you're dealing with a uterus and 2 ovaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you notice, they go through the maximum hormonal imbalances, and it's something that we really have to be, very sensitive to. And trainers these days do understand the challenges that women go through every decade, and they're being very, very supportive. But if you're able to squat, lunge, push, pull, twist, and bend, being able to functionally fit and carry out your work, because I know a mother who came to me and said, I'm not able to lift my child because I have a backache. I'm not able to take her to the park, play with her. I want to get stronger. So we worked towards it to help strengthen her muscle mass. And that really worked very well, and she became all right. Yeah. So working with a team, fitness trainer, physiotherapist, I think it's amazing. You can get stronger. Focusing only on the weighing scale doesn't help. That's why body composition analysis is very, very important. You just have to make sure that you're not checking only the weight, but also how much muscle and fat you're carrying.
That's true.
Yeah.
And as Indian women, we carry a lot of lower fat, no? Stomach. Why do we carry such stubborn lower abdomen fat?
You've heard about the thin fat Indian concept. Yeah.
The thin fat.
Tell me, what is your experience? Have you seen anyone?
I've seen, for example, I'll give you my mother-in-law. She is skinny.
Yeah, I've seen her. She looks so young.
She's skinny. Eats healthy. She walks and does yoga. When we took her blood tests, cholesterol over the roof. Everything was haywire. And I was like, when you see her, you will never guess. We're so tuned to thinking that a person a certain size is unhealthy. And when you see a person who's skinny, you're like, oh, they're healthy. But this theory of Indians is that we are the diabetic capital. Okay.
Yeah.
Cardiac risk, high.
High.
Diabetes, high. Cholesterol, high. But if you see them, you'll be like, oh, they're very skinny, they're very healthy. But why is that? You tell me.
Yeah. See, the thing is, the thin fat Indian concept, there's this hypothesis where there was a lot of famine and drought earlier days, and then how a genetic mutation hasn't really caught up. So we are still in the zone where whatever we eat, we convert it to fat a lot. We are still in that preserving mode. That is one. And then right now, if you see, there's abundance of food. Food is available 24/7, and people are all, it's not that we are facing a war or something, and we have everything in plenty. People have access to food, and they eat a lot at odd times also, and they end up piling it up. And as a nation, we eat a lot of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, there's this entire bunch which focuses quite a lot on, getting it all right.
Yeah.
But there are also a huge segment who will eat upma, pongal for breakfast, lunch ku sadam, dinner ku there'll be some idli, dosa, paniyaram also.
Yeah.
Without a fiber, without protein. That can also be done.
Okay.
So that's when the piling up happens. You see, if they go for ultrasound scan, the doctor will tell there's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Or else this person, say this girl has, say, PCOS. And the marilla, naraya, you do have this diagnosis. So one really has to be careful about, who you are, because genetically the predisposition is so high. I was talking to a doctor last week, a sports physician, and he said from the age of 12, one has to go for cardiac screening, because sometimes you just find people having a massive cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
You mentioned something a little while ago.
Yeah, Mithun's friend who just passed away while playing cricket.
Yeah.
36 years old.
36. Okay, so how many have gone through cardiac screening is the biggest question. There could be something right from childhood that has just gone unnoticed. Sometimes the one palpitation, the one anxiety can come. You don't know whether it's related to the heart. So I think cardiac screening is a must. That's what we do. So you might be extremely fit, you might be playing sport and all of that, but do what needs to be done so that we don't have to face these kind of issues.
So when we talk about this belly fat, how does one reduce it? Is it diet? Is it exercise? Is it a combination of both? What is it and how do you make it go? I'm asking for myself.
Seriously, see, it's a lot easier before menopause hits, okay? Because I'm 50, I've been there, I'm just telling you. See, one thing is with pregnancy, have you seen diastasis recti?
Yeah.
So it's very important to work with a physiotherapist and make sure that, your abdominal muscles are really nice and toned. It's a combination of exercise, and also your emotional regulation. Because if you're constantly stressed, your stress hormones are going to be high, and that can contribute or go and affect insulin, and there could be insulin resistance. happens, because of which whatever you eat ends up piling up here, right? So it's a combination of things. You really have to eat right. Primarily low carbohydrate, lot more fiber, protein, and good fats, and omega-3. If you're not eating fish regularly, at least try to get some omega-3 supplement. That is one. Sleep on time. Okay. Next is doing all those functional fitness so that
Tighten your core.
you tighten your core really well, and then also do a lot of how do I say, structured programs. And then phase by phase you'll have to sit with your physio and your trainer to make sure that your program is customized, curated. So just like precision nutrition, I think precision exercise prescription, customized ones are going to be very helpful, but it's a long journey. If you're trying to do something drastic, rapid,
Nothing.
becomes difficult. And there are phases where we might also consider something like berberine, or else like instead of metformin, berberine is a nutraceutical that can be considered, or L-carnitine, and then those things also help. So you'll have to curate, and then try to get there. For a woman, it takes a much longer time. Sometimes a combination of cardio, strength training, yoga works. You'll just have to see how best to take it, but try to do it before menopause hits.
Perimenopause.
Yeah, because perimenopause hits, because I think it becomes very challenging. So we have seen even, I remember meeting a health professional who was into yoga and also a lot of weight training and all that. And she said she gained 10 kgs during that phase, but she also dropped it off. But during that phase, that year was very challenging. She said, if I were to do so much of exercise and go through this, just imagine the others who are doing only walking and not lifting weights, or doing a lot of core strengthening arena. So that really made me think, yes. So these things happen, these changes happen. You tell me, how is it after a pregnancy to make those changes?
For me, that's what I was telling you before we started. It took me 8 years. My son is 8. And Radhya is 6. So they're only 20 months apart. So I had back-to-back pregnancies, high complication pregnancies with 2 preterm babies. So with Tarak, when I had Tarak, I lost weight. I was the thinnest after Tarak. It was after Radhya, and I had a lot of medication for Radhya to prevent a preterm baby, like steroids after steroids, to make sure the preterm baby was not coming early. Anyway, she came early only. Yeah. But after Radhya, we hit pandemic, and with Radhya's complication, she was a touch and go child. I think emotionally, it took a toll on me. And then to be stuck at home and with all the other issues, I put on a lot of weight. So I was 70, my lowest has been 75 kilos. When I got married after Tarak, I was 74. That's my lowest. I went up till 95 kilos. I'm someone who works out.
Yeah, I've seen you right from the start.
I will work out, but I will never be consistent. I will eat till afternoon. I'll be good. That's snack time. 5,000 calories will go only in that 4 to 5 o'clock. I was not eating properly. I was emotionally eating, and I was taking all my frustration on my food and myself. So I think that was the major problem. And I was going through so much mentally that I was not in the space to be consistent with anything. Like it would be 2 steps forward, 20 steps back. And this was on a loop. I think until my grandmom passed away, it was after that where I decided, where I ended up in the hospital with a panic attack, where I thought I was having a heart attack, and then I had to do blood work, and I realized my cholesterol, everything was out of the roof, that I realized if I don't correct anything, that my children were not going to have a mother. And that was the biggest scare I had. And that was the biggest point where I said, okay, I have to change my life. So what I did was, I didn't do any drastic diets. I ate whatever I ate, but I cut down my portions. I cut down drinking. I cut down my sweets. But I still would have that chocolate after lunch, because where's the joy in life? I went for therapy.
A good balance. I think you're in a very good space now.
I went for therapy because mentally also I had to become stronger. Then I went consistently to the gym. And when I hit a plateau after a certain weight, I changed my regime of running or training twice a day. And that's what has
Twice
helped.
a day? Wow.
Like I train in the morning, I'll run in the evening, or I'll walk in the evening. So that's what helped me.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Wow.
But like you said, for women, it's very, very difficult because you're expected to look a certain way. So you're expected to be a certain way. A lot of people don't realize that even when you're your healthiest during your cycle, you gain what 2-3 kilos a month, and you drop it.
Yes.
What happens to our body, Shiny, every month? What is it?
It's just the hormones. You see, this is natural, normal physiology. There will be a phase where, before the period start, the hunger pangs will go up. Okay. See, your body is preparing for conception. Okay. When it doesn't happen, you will end up with the period, right?
Yeah.
See, it's a privilege to actually make a human being. Right?
Yeah.
Man is not able to do it. He's not made that way. But a woman's body is for that. Now, every month these cycles come and go, and this is normal physiology. But if only women are told that there will be water retention just 1 week prior, and then once you bleed, once it's all out, then you'll be back to normal. But this is how every month is going to be. And if they make peace with that, that'll be great. And rather than chasing a number on the weighing scale, it'll be great to see how good your energy levels are, and also whether you have good muscle mass. Because the moment you build muscle, this is like a sponge which removes a lot of sugar from your system. So, and having muscle is what gives you that strength to carry your child, to play, run around, right? And even if you're traveling somewhere, can you carry heavy bags?
Can you walk up the steps without panting so much?
Yeah, sometimes you carry your child.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are 2 kids, meaning I know someone who played tennis now has 2 children, and both were clingy when they recently went on a vacation. In the Pakone. Yeah. She was walking everywhere. Yeah. In Bangkok, and she said, "Oh my God, my holiday was not actually a fun holiday, but the children were weepy, clingy, and they wanted only Amma." Yeah. Okay, so now how do you carry? That happens because she's been doing a lot of strength training, and that's given a lot of strength. So that is the most important aspect for the kind of things, the multitasking which a woman does, the roles that she plays. She needs to be really strong. Sometimes you'll have to play with your child.
You have to get up after that.
Get up after that, exactly. These are things which matter without any aches and pains. And because you went through pregnancy, is there going to be a back pain after that? How is your calcium? Now, come what may, your body will make the breast milk to feed your child, but at the expense of the mother's bone health. And if you're not really topping up calcium and getting enough sunlight and other factors, now what happens? Your hair loss happens.
Your vitamin D will go
Vitamin
first.
D. There's also some postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I know a client who had postpartum depression for a good 5 to 7 years, I think. Because this girl's body completely changed. So haven't we seen a lot of us? Sometimes we don't know we're going through that. Yeah. Right? That could also happen. So there's just too much. We are just made differently. And I love, there's this researcher called Dr. Stacey Sims. And she puts out a lot of information about women's health and women's bodies. And the first thing in her, first page of her book says, women are not small men. Because she says worldwide, the research is all around men, be it strength training, this, that. And then you take it, extrapolate it, and apply it to women. We are made differently. Yeah. I even saw an influencer talking about how women have breasts, and when you're doing certain exercises, you feel a little uncomfortable. And then she had modified it to suit a woman's body, right? Your chest is not flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's being sensitive to a woman's requirement.
That's
right?
True.
Yeah. So I think we all need to just sit and talk, have support groups. And it's okay to say, I'm mentally fucked up. I'm not feeling okay today. I just cried for no reason. I don't know why, but this is what I'm feeling. I saw someone, I went for a bereavement meeting and something triggered that day. I didn't sleep that day. I'm thinking about death, or else I met this other friend. She was going through a challenge. I think we all need support systems. And that's when, even if you're married, you have a partner, whomever it is, you need your girls' gang.
Yeah.
And have friends of different age groups, because sometimes it helps a lot to have a 20-year-old friend or a 30-year-old.
Different perspectives.
Different perspectives. And the world is changing. So the 20-year-old can probably teach us a lot about how the world is changing with AI and other factors, how the work culture has changed, how the dating scenario has changed.
Yeah.
The 30, 40-year-old situationship. Yeah. So the 30-year-old can learn a lot from a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
And I could probably learn from a 60 or a 75-year-old.
Yeah.
Because I can really plan how the next 2, 3 or 4 decades should be.
Exactly.
Right? Because they are a few steps ahead, learn from them. I think we need friends of different age groups.
Non-judgmental friends.
First, absolutely. Yeah, non-judgmental. You're right. You're right.
I was telling a friend of mine, she was always comparing herself to her husband and saying, "Oh, he loses weight so fast.
Obviously.
Oh, this." I'm like, dude, he doesn't have the hormones you have.
Yeah, and we have few fat-burning enzymes, right? And we
Yeah.
don't have the same amount of muscle mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was asking me, "Oh, can you run as fast as Mithun?" I'm like, ah? I'm like, I don't. I said, yeah, first, he can't do long distance, I can. So we will choose our battles with what we can. But now, Shiny, when we talk about all this, people go through so much to lose weight. And now the easiest for someone to say is, oh, you're on the GLP-1s. I mean, they're all there for a reason. But it's being used as an insult. What are your thoughts on the GLP-1s?
See, it's like if someone is on GLP-1 and they're like, you got it easy. But I'm going to the gym, I'm struggling, I'm doing it the right way. Sometimes, you just feel there's a lot of judgment for people who are on GLP-1. See, the moment it hit the market, we have had our conversations among dietitians, with other health professionals. Okay. It's like, why should people take this? There were times when I used to get upset, and we have had these conversations. But trust me, when you sit there with a calm mind and look at it, there were so many clients who put in a lot of effort. Okay. And then life happened. Situations changed, and then they regained their weight. Some had a certain kind of resistance, which means the body was not responding.
Okay.
And they can't quit their jobs and be in the gym or do exercise 24/7, right? So there are people who put in sincere efforts, but because of certain complications, certain health conditions or life situations, they were not able to proceed with it. So they met with a doctor, took the medication, it helped a lot. And some have also taken it for say 6 months or 1 year. They've done really well because they were under the guidance of the doctor. And they follow protocols, which means they go and get your blood test done, check your eyes so that side effects don't happen. Okay. Now, during this time, if you make use of this window, where you're going to take it for this much time until you hit a certain target. And can you pick up habits? Can you learn to eat mindfully? Can you understand how a balanced plate should be? What is your requirement for your height, weight, age? And are you a young mother? Are you a working professional? Do you travel 20 days in a month? Can you figure that out and do what's required? Get that template drawn. Pick up habits over a period of time. Even if you pick one habit per month, you have fantastic 12 habits in a year. So I would say no judgments. Some need that support. You won't believe, recently there was a client who was sent by a gynecologist. The first one was IVF pregnancy, and she had gained a lot of weight. In between, she'll gain 25 kgs. Now she's planning for a second child. So she had put her on Monjaro, and she said, Shiny, take care of her diet, teach her everything so that she learns how to maintain a good plan. Yeah. Now she's conceived naturally. We were all getting her ready for IVF. But she conceived naturally. We were so happy. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is sometimes it just reduces the inflammation also. The insulin resistance comes under control. And things internally changes. And she also learned to make some healthy food choices. And then things happened. What if someone needs a knee replacement? What if someone has to shed that weight in order to prevent a big surgery? Right? Or it's for a big life event. They want to go out, enjoy vacations, holidays, feel good about themselves. So do it the right way. That's all I would say. Go meet a doctor. Get the entire checkup done. And have a proper exit plan.
That's the most important.
Most important, because you can't be on it forever. Now, however long you're going to take it, discuss this with the doctor. Go find a good physiotherapist, a good trainer, and a good dietitian and a therapist. Figure out what are the triggers. What makes you eat? What makes you choose a certain food? Is there a place in your house where you go plonk yourself and then end up watching TV, eating quite a lot? No, what emotions drive you to that condition? Figure that out. I think you can do this in a good period of time and understand yourself, and then have this exit plan also.
But do you see any long-term effects of it?
Of GLP-1 analogs. See, as much as it's really helpful, it'll be nice not to be dependent on anything. See, we all have that innate strength where, you might have, you mentioned how with Radhya, you went through so many challenges, right? And where did you get your strength? family support, this, that, and you per se, right? There might have been situations where you handled it yourself when probably Amma was traveling or, maid was on leave. I don't know. But then you still managed and you brought her up. She's now 6 years old, right? So would the 20-year-old Rayane know that she had so much in her?
No chance.
To handle, to bring up 2 children, to go through certain life situations. The 20-year-old girl didn't know, right? But you had it in you. So rather than being dependent on a medication, because we don't know long-term studies, we don't know what the side effects are. But knowing that you are taking external help, though this is something which is produced in your body, this is now come in the form of an injection. But can we be less dependent?
Yeah.
Okay. Use it as a crutch, use it as a support for some time, maybe 1 or 2 years or whatever the doctor says. But after that, can you also have a backup plan where you change all of these?
Okay.
And every 3 months or 6 months when you go for a screening, they'll check your eyes, as well as the most problems that we have heard of is
the liver, no?
Eyesight, vision.
Eyesight?
Yeah. I know someone whose voice changed. She was on Ozempic earlier, and then she immediately stopped it. She said, no, she's a teacher. And she said, my voice is important. Her voice changed and she stopped immediately. And then she went ahead to do something else.
Okay.
Went to a doctor, but then, do it the right way.
You need a doctor's guidance.
You need a doctor's guidance. It's important. It's either an endocrinologist, internal medicine specialist, could be a cardiologist.
Okay? You need to do a lot of tests before getting on it.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, they don't realize it, and don't play around with it. Do it the right way, because you don't know, after 10, 15 years, someone might say it's because of this, the side effect has come, and then we are seeing large numbers. Why wait for that? Can you get off that as early as possible and reach the target, build these habits, make use of the time there, and have a clean, neat exit plan.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, now everyone, like you said, there was this guy who from young was using supplements.
Yes.
Suddenly everyone is supplementing. Majority of things that you can have is food.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it healthy?
Okay, you won't believe, I was at a party some time back, few months back, and this conversation was so much about CGM, 24-hour fasting, 48-hour fasting. How many supplements are you taking? It's a supplement stack.
Yeah.
I've had clients, from this society who come and say, like, my friends are all talking about these supplements. They went to the US, they went to the UK, or these are the supplements that we're taking. And because of Instagram, the world has shrunk, right? Yeah. Not just Instagram, social media, world has shrunk. You can just look at information. It's available to you firsthand. You ask a cousin or somebody, or else buy it online. It's there with you. But do you really need it? Who needs supplement is the number one question mark. Okay. Is your food not providing enough? Yeah. Okay. Do you need 10? I also know people who take 22 supplements. 20, 22. We've seen that. So it's about, why did you take it? This doctor gave me this. This doctor this gave me. The trainer put me onto this. The previous dietitian gave me this.
It'll be like that to, dermatologist, this person, that person, full list of doctors. Is
your body utilizing it, or are you peeing out?
Exactly.
We don't know. So you really need to do a stock check. Okay. And how first can we set right the basics and try to get everything? Can you get some farm fresh vegetables? See if there's any organic farm, really good. Do your groundwork. Check if it's coming from a nice place. Number one is that. Then can you hire a good cook?
Yeah.
Have a good cook. You spend the 20,000-30,000 and give them medical insurance. Learn how to retain a staff. Do that. Makes a world of difference, because your Swiggy bills and everything will come down. And make sure that that person is versatile to cook anything, or at least have the knowledge to look at the YouTube videos and churn out those dishes for you, so that you're not eating out that often, because you're getting it at home itself, right?
Yeah.
And then see where is the requirement for supplements.
Okay.
And let's be cautious. Chumma randomly, it's just that you'll spend a lot of money and it'll all go in the urine. Or there could be interaction also. And there could be a lot of, there could be food and supplements could interact. So you will have to time it. You will have to optimize it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it can be supplemented with food, right? Instead.
It can be. See, the thing is, it's not that all of us are getting farm fresh vegetables.
That's
all
true.
that is there. So try to maximize. That's what I said.
Like pick and choose what you really, really need.
Really need. Yeah, keep those most important things. And one more thing, I still remember because we do something called Menopause with Dr. Priya Kalyani, the gynecologist, and Dr. Monish Arvind, the dermatologist. We've had this conversation because when we planned this program, and both doctors came up with the thing that however safe it is, 3 months kaprama, take a break. Even if it is 1 week or 2 weeks, take a break. Uske baad, then again, if you want to go on it, do it.
Okay.
Chumma abdi continuous, don't be on supplements. So we've had these conversations.
So if someone was on a budget, what are the 3 supplements you would tell them to have?
If they have sleep issues or cramping,
Magnesium.
okay, magnesium, definitely. Next thing is omega-3 because not many of us have fish due to religious reasons on the, Friday kadayadu, Saturday kadayadu, those kind of things come in between. So magnesium is one. Next thing is maybe a B complex, depends, because a lot of people I see are having low vitamin B12. That is one.
B12 and vitamin D.
D3. Exactly. Not getting enough sunlight is a major issue. So this is something that I would really keep in mind. Yeah.
So I want you to tell me, for someone like me who eats properly till lunch and then loses the plot before dinner, what are the 5 snacks that you would suggest?
Okay, maybe a homemade bel puri because it's nice and crunchy. You can add mangoes and sprouts and a whole bunch of vegetables if you want. That is one, a nice bel puri. Next is yogurt with some high protein granola.
High protein.
Yeah, there is.
No, I love that. Everything's like high protein breakfast, high protein.
Yeah, but there's also yogurt, so probiotics. So that's a good combination.
Okay.
And then a nice protein shake would help, a chia pudding.
Okay.
Even an overnight oats where you just add a lot of either mangoes or else it can even be pomegranates. Pomegranate and guavas are like the most favorite.
Okay.
I make sure that all our clients eat. So
pomegranates, I know. In my diet also you get pomegranates.
It does wonders to the skin, inside out, and regulates the cholesterol, blah, blah. So overnight oats with a lot of these fruits and then maybe 1 teaspoon of seed mixture. It's amazing. It tastes so yum. So these are 5 snacks because it's very filling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just eating a fruit, no. But then if you can try one of these, it works really well.
So these last 2 questions, they're powered by naturals. So for someone who has gone through a lot, tried all the diets, not been consistent, but still wants to transform their life, where do they begin?
I think the first would be they could start journaling. See, the main thing is they can start mapping their day. And you will find pockets where you're really messing up.
Okay.
Like you shared your experience how in the evening things could really go haywire. So each one of us have our challenges. I used to do this after work, come back and then probably watch TV, sit on the couch and look for a snack. Okay, that used to happen long back. But then what I'm telling is map the day, find out your problem areas. Next is, can you chew well and can you drink enough water? And also eat on time, sleep on time. Just focus on these basics. I think somewhere consistently, if you could just focus on this, and as you said, portion sizes, this is a game changer. Simple things.
Yeah.
I still remember years ago when I met Mohanlal sir. I was working in a gym, so I had come there and we had a consultation. And then he said how his friend just focused on chewing well. He would sit for 20-25 minutes for each meal. But then he ate his biryani. He had all the regular normal food which was prepared at home. And that gentleman lost around 22 kgs. So then, just chewing well made a huge difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Something as simple as you needn't do 5 things. Sometimes even just focusing on that one aspect would be a game changer.
Yeah. My last one to you. What have you learned about health and happiness that has nothing to do with food?
Gratitude.
Yeah,
gratitude. You know what? I've noticed, I remember working with the chancellor of a university, and every time I monitor her throughout the pandemic, she went through a massive transformation. And for every message or diet chart or whatever we would send, she'll say, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful. And then I just noticed that, being grateful, or living your life, counting your blessings, that really shifts your perspective. And you do a lot of things right. And another factor is you're very content with yourself. Once that sense of calm happens, otherwise you're out there looking for validation, or else you're comparing your life with somebody else there.
Mhm.
Because there's so much. See, earlier you would look at your neighbors, okay?
Yeah.
But now with social media,
Even unknown people we compare our lives with.
compare our lives with. And that's a lot of pressure. We don't realize what damage it's doing to our heads.
Mhm.
So I think if you can start your day with gratitude, 3
Mhm.
things to start with and 3 things to finish your day. And that book, if you were to maintain it for at least a year, there'll be a complete shift in the way you think. And internally, when you're happy, calm, a lot of things just falls in place beautifully.
I need to try that. I'm going to try it and tell you how it goes. Thank you for taking time out and doing this for me.
Pleasure being here. So good to see you
Yeah.
after such a long
Yeah.
time. And I see there are so many life experiences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen me since school.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was in 10th because I met Surya Prakash, no?
Yes.
So I met him also while I met you. So yeah, we're still friends. So.
Yes.
You gave him also diet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long back.
But
Cool.
yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.